sometimes.
I'm gonna pull the whole thing down. I'm gonna bring the whole fucking diseased, corrupt temple down on your head. It's gonna be biblical.
Hello and welcome to Patriots Across the Pond, bit of Thursday Thunder, episode 30. Today we have an absolutely amazing guest on. We've just had a 20-minute discussion in the back room and I can't wait to talk some more, really. We shall go over a bit of that again. But Matrix is a regular guest on Rambo and Dave, and I think Matrix is potentially the only person out there that blows Joe's mind more than JFN and Sapioplex. Matrix has got his regular show on Rumble and Pilled, where he's regularly on for 8-9 hours. He's got his co-host is Omazon, who's on with him quite a lot. His shows are called Cracking the Q Code, and he does a lot of Fox comms. And I think today he's going to blow a few people's minds. So if you don't mind me saying, welcome, Matrix. I don't suffer. I just have it. Codebreaker. Great to see you.
Hey, thank you guys for having me very much. And also good officially meeting both of you. And thank you for having me today.
Oh, you're so welcome. We're really honored because I not only are we going to get our minds blown, I'm sure, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. So, I mean, I've discussed you on our show before. We have gone into the monstrosity you did. It's an amazing 2 hours and stuff. We'll probably go into that a bit later, but obviously every time we have a new guest on, we really like to go into their history and how the awakening happened, and Matrix, take all the time you need and just take it away, sir.
All right. Well, let me ask you this: how far back would you like me to go? Because my story starts quite early.
As early as you want. I had my awakening moment at 13, but then I didn't know why for another 20 years. But yeah.
All right, then I will start from the very beginning then. I'm actually sitting in the almost exact same spot I asked this question. Between about 3 and 4 years old, I was learning to tie my shoe right where I'm sitting at, basically. My mom was standing in front of me teaching me, and for some strange reason, I had a thought come through my head. And first off, I got to mention too, is when I was younger, our family was raised Christian. We did a lot of school, the Bible school, Sunday school, all that stuff and whatnot. So I was raised this way. So in my head at a very young age, I looked at my mother and asked her a question, which was, I don't know the exact wording, but it was basically, with all the starving kids in Africa that don't know about Jesus, can they go to heaven without knowing Jesus? And my mom just stared at me with this crazy look like, what the hell did this kid just ask me? And she stared at me for a minute and didn't know what to say. And she stumbled over to her words and then had some weird yes and some answer for me. And from that point forward, I had weird thoughts in my head that she couldn't answer that question. And I'm not joking, from a very, very, very young age of learning to tie my shoe, I started asking questions that started with that. Moving forward, the next piece of it, I'll just move forward to when the movie The Matrix came out. that officially broke me. That made me just wonder where we're living, what we're living in, what are we in a computer simulation and whatnot. But again, it was just a movie, so it just made me think. And then the official thing that got me started into all of this was 9/11. Being a sophomore in high school when that happened, actually, too. I think I just turned 16? Yeah, I just turned 16 in June. In September, that happened. So I'm a sophomore in high school, get the TV wheeled in. We see all that happen. And of course, I'm freaked out watching all this go on, not knowing what the hell's happening, thinking World War III is going to start. So very next day, I walk into school and go into the computer lab and get onto the internet. Back then, of course, we're talking 2001, so it's different. So I think it was yahoo.com or something like that. And the first thing I see, which sent me into going to, I think I might want to go join the army, to I'm going to be a professional conspiracy theorist, was the title of Nostradamus predicted 9/11. I said, what? Who is this guy? Click. And that started this, what's going to be a 25-year journey coming up this September. That's what began it all. So what did that do to me, though? That sent me into, well, how did he predict 9/11? Who's Nostradamus? And that led me suddenly into the very first thing, oddly enough, we talked a little about before the show, was the Masons, the Templars, the Illuminati, the Jesuits, the Rosicrucians, all the secret societies you could possibly find. That's where all my digs started at, basically. And that led me into a lot of every rabbit hole you could possibly think of, all the way up until quite literally then Trump shows up and is becoming president. Before Trump even ran for president, I had a weird thing that I decided that Trump needed to be president because he's the only thing that'll help save our country. That was in 2013 while working at a Marco's Pizza, having these conversations, having these girls hating me for it. A year and a half later, suddenly he says he's running. I was like, whoa. Now, mind you, I'm not into politics in any way, shape, or form at the time either. Not at all. But I see the country going downhill. I hate Barack Obama and all that. And I hear about Trump. I know about Trump. And I'm like, okay, maybe he's the only thing to save our country. I know about Kurt Cobain and what he said back in the 90s about Donald Trump. Okay, let's go. So long story short, I have a major thing happen to me, 2016, where I had to move from St. Louis up to Nebraska. And the reason behind it is crazy. This, of course, is just before Q. So I'm about 15 years into doing, knowing just about every conspiracy you can possibly think of. And then I had a weird thing happen to me, which is my third eye got blown open. And the reason that's significant is because the date in which it happened, because of now what I do now, it kind of looking back, it's a real freaky thing. So one of the things with Q stuff is I have a thing for JFK Jr. And his plane crash happened in 1999 on July 16th. And I had some crazy stuff happen to me and I had my third eye blow open on 7/16 of 2016, which happens to be the 17th anniversary of his plane crash. And I believe JFK Jr. is Q. So that's kind of weird how that worked out. So that was a big piece to me too. I was for 7 days, I could literally see everything that nobody could see. Very scary situation. And I actually drove all the way to Nebraska like that and ended up staying there for 5 years and completely changed my life from it. Not in exactly a good way in certain areas though, but either way, your third eye blowing open is a very scary situation when you have no idea what the heck you're seeing. So that was 2016. Then we move in and we have Donald Trump actually going into office, and then Q shows up. So how did I find Q? And you guys are going to get the real story. So living in Nebraska, I had to find myself a pot dealer, and I found me a pot dealer. And with this pot dealer, every time he came over, we had all kinds of fun conversations, which was really mainly conspiracy theories. He liked to come over, we'd sit there and smoke, and he'd listen to me, and he asked, well, all these new conspiracy, what's going on? And we talk aliens, portals, ancient world, all kinds of stuff. And we go, into the Illuminati, all the crazy stuff. And one day, instead of me calling him to say, hey, come on over, I need to get something from you, let's smoke, he came to me, which was really weird. And he shows up at my place, and I'm like, his name is Chad. He was like, what are you doing here? He's like, I want to show you something and get your thoughts on this. I said, okay. And I don't know if it was the exact day of or the day after. It was one of the two. I don't remember to this day whether it was the day of or not, but he literally walks in, and I didn't know this. I now know this looking back. I didn't even ask him back then, but he apparently was on the boards, and he brought me the very first Q drop. He literally brought me the first Q drop and said, what do you think about this? And my exact reaction, I read it. And of course, I see Hillary Clinton will be arrested on, between 7:45 and 8:30 a.m. on October 30th, 2017. I see that. And of course, I read the whole thing and I'm like, okay, it sounds interesting. But I just look at him and I go, yeah, that ain't going to happen. I hand it out, whatever. He's like, dude, you probably should look at it. Now I'm good. 2 days go by, nothing happens. So of course I'm like, see, I told you I'm good. Well, over the next 2 weeks, he kept coming back to me saying, bro, this stuff's still going on. It's still going on. You got to check this stuff out. It's crazy. So he's reading the stuff. Well, finally, he gets me over to him. I actually get to read the stuff and he has my attention to it. So sometime around November 12th to 15th ish or so, I finally said, okay, I'll pay attention, because there were about 100 some odd drops in, 200 drops in or so. But here's the thing. He's on the boards. He's an Anon, real Anon. I don't know this. I'm not a computer guy back in 2017. I owned a laptop and that was it. And I used it just for searching conspiracies, being on the internet, Facebook, whatever it may be back then. But I wasn't doing what I'm doing now. I wasn't in this world, basically. I wasn't connected with people doing conspiracy stuff. It was just my own thing I did on the side. And then he pulls me into this world here, which, of course, I had to wait for an aggregator site to truly get my hands on it. So for a few months, basically, he was kind of just feeding me information and letting me know what was going on. And whenever the date was, again, talking to other people, I don't know exactly when the date was for the first aggregator site, but once the aggregator site popped up, that's when I officially put my hands on the Q drops, whether that was late 2017 or early 2018. Is when I actually physically had my hands on it on the computer and actually started to put my brain to what was going on. And that journey was really hard because I didn't know what the heck I was looking at, what I was getting into, or what I was doing, basically. So for me personally, because my buddy was into it, he's giving me information. He's basically trying to, let me know what's going on. But of course, I don't know law. I don't know politics. I don't care about politics. So this stuff's it's like a whole new world to me. So it was a very slow process to try and learn this stuff, which is why I'm thankful for, which is now my Sunday show's partners, Mr. Space Shot. Shout out to, Woke Societies way back when, the whole Table of Titans back in the day. And I don't remember all the names of different shows I used to watch when they first started up back in 2018 and whatnot, that were covering Q in the very beginning. Because if it wasn't for those people, I wouldn't have had true understanding to what was going on, because I had to learn politics. I had to learn law. I had to learn what the hell was going on in the world, while also trying to figure out the Q drop. So for me, it was like a brand new world that was brought to my attention in late 2018. So that was a really rough part right there for me, because how do I say this? So I'm all excited about Trump and what's going on. I see these Q drops, I'm all excited, but at the same time, I got to sit here and learn what the hell is really going on in the world. And what does that do when you get into the Q drops? You get a lot of negative information. You find out what's really going on in the world. And suddenly it throws you down this rabbit hole of being freaked out, pissed off, and learning about all the negative things going on in the world, And it's like what they've been doing to us our whole lives. So it's like that alone, it's like it messed with my head too. But again, thanks to other Anons, I'm sitting there. I got to explain this too. I'm a pattern recognition guy. And I'm, of course, attached to numbers. That's what most people tend to know me for. So getting into the Q drops, something that was catching my attention in the beginning as I was trying to figure out what was going on, why this was important, and how this all connects. Before I was able to do that, I was catching these patterns. I was seeing whether it be like a timestamp or drop numbers or words that went together in other drops. So I was linking things together with drops that went with each other really early on. But again, didn't know why, didn't know what to do with it, didn't know what it meant. And as time moved on, just went on suddenly over time, things started making sense to me the way I see things. And I see things in a weird way. Most people that watch me do know that. So my way of seeing things finally just caught on is really what happened. If you would go back to 2019 or 2020, when I first started putting my work online, actually it was 2020 is when I officially put my work online. My first 2.5 years of doing this, back from 2017 to 2020, when I first put my stuff actually online, I still have sitting here at my house 2 tubs of over 100 pounds of handwritten paperwork of all my decodes I still own to this day. All of it's done by hand. And then I went online and started doing stuff. But that was another thing. That was a transition period of how the hell do I put my stuff I have on paper onto a computer and then explain it to you guys out there. So there's a whole nother thing, a way to do that too. So for me, the journey was really rough, really hard, and not exactly easy because I didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't know what I was doing, what I was looking at. And as you guys see now, if you guys, of course, see my work, say the monstrosity or whatever work you want to talk about, it's like now the work I've been doing for all these years makes sense. All the stuff that had to be put together makes sense. And of course, it took years of doing this to actually have the mindset that I do. I want to shout out like Stormy Joe. He was on this stuff the way he's doing it since 2017 and 18. Like that dude's had his way of doing it the whole time. He's got a whole system. It's like that dude's like the king at doing this. It's like I wish I would have been able to do it the way I've been doing it as long as he's been doing it. Because like the way he does it is like, to me, is so perfect because he's already got it all set and ready to go. And he saw things happening early on. And it's like for me, I was completely lost, as most people are when Q first showed up. So for me, it was like, for me, I was just a confused person, but I saw the patterns, I saw the numbers, started linking stuff together. And again, it just took time. And suddenly it started to make sense to me, thanks to other anons. And boop, one day it just clicked and I turned into MATRIXQDEBREAKER. I don't know what else to say on that one. Yeah, the journey was crazy. It was hard. It messed with my head. I had to move a couple of times to different states in the process and lose most of the things I own. But hey, I'm never been happier in my life to do what I'm doing now because I'm officially settled into what I do and I get to do this full time. So now I actually get to put my brain fully into what I do. And I won't lie, I wouldn't pick anything else to do than this because I don't work a day in my life.
Yeah. I mean, that's amazing. It's like 25 years ago, it's almost identical time to Elisa and I sort of waking up, really. We both sort of like after 9/11 started really digging into things. And it was like, 2016, 2017, 2018 and stuff that we were, I've been watching so many shows, but you hear people showing these pink drops, X22 report, and it was all over Twitter was the main place a lot of people were talking. I wasn't on the board myself, but I think in 2018 my favorite site was qmap.pub, but that got shut down, didn't it? And there's many other sites now, qalerts.app, qanon.pub, and the QAG, who we've got Phil on next week actually, which is going to be amazing. But these aggregated sites have made it so easy for people to follow. And I just want to say about your JFK Jr. thing there as well, that in the early days, we all used to see these things as coincidences, didn't we? But only when we woke up and saw everything as synchronicities and what does that number mean and why do I keep seeing 17 here and 33 is there, that we've really started to pay attention to. There's something much bigger going on than us, isn't there?
Oh man, yeah. It's not just 17. Yes, we always see the 33s, but there's so many different numbers too, like especially for me that I tend to catch on to and things that they give us and whatnot. Do I have a backfeed?
Is that a gardener turned up somewhere?
Oh, please, I apologize.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought it was coming through my computer. Sorry.
No, I apologize. I'll keep muting myself because it's annoying, but he comes on Thursdays.
No, yeah, it's crazy though. The 17s didn't get my attention honestly till Q showed up, but it should have because I actually got a God nod early on. So 9/11 woke me up, and 9/11 that's a special date for me. And now the number is 17, and it just so happens my daughter was born on 9/17/11. So there's my two dates combined together. So I think God was trying to tell me something.
That's crazy.
And then the 17 years after the plane crash of the person I believe is Q, my third eye opened. So like the combination of that. So the 17s were in my face for a long time and I didn't even know it. I had no clue why the letter Q didn't mean anything to me at all until Q showed up and all this happened. So yeah, looking back, everything's been our faces for years. And I think they've been trying to wake us up for years. As you guys probably know, that like the 60,000 man army, I mean, we're linking it back. I mean, you can technically go back to like the 60s or whatever you want to do. But like we for sure know, like you go back to 2011, Trump bought Truth Social. And I think it's even before that they officially got started, and was it Turning Point USA started up in, I think it was 2012. Their address was 217.5 and they had a Q in the window. Like, I mean, you go all kinds of directions with it's like things were in our faces years ago before and we didn't see it until Q showed up and like taught us to see this stuff. We didn't necessarily see it until you look back and go, holy crap, man, that was in our faces the whole time.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And it's interesting because even with Trump, like, you know, I'm a New Yorker, so obviously we were exposed and we just viewed him as a local successful businessman from our town, right? Because I come from Queens. And but going back to the 80s, you know, and then finding out how he was so involved in taking down the mob. And then, you know, the drama, I guess, of even if you look at his divorces, there was always like a drama, you know, it was more than just a story. So I think, and then if we remember back when Barack Obama, you know, with that whole thing, if you remember the old days on Hannity, when he was on there all the time telling Barack Obama that I think he was donating $5 million to any charity of his choice if he shows his real birth certificate. And then he started getting in the limelight even then with going after Obama. So you're right. There was so much they were feeding us that you didn't really connect the dots.
You have more than you know.
Yeah, I'd say so. And it's funny you say that because, of course, Sean Hannity was doing that. Fox News, right? They've been the white hats for a long time.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So, right, Matrix. Where do you want to start?
I know I have a big question, but
go on then. Go with that.
Well, go for it. Go for the question.
Who is our Q?
Who is Q?
Yep.
Well, my opinion is simple. I've had the same opinion basically since I got into all this, and I can't explain why I had this link to it, but I do believe that Q plus, of course, is going to be Donald J. Trump, and I do believe that his best friend, John F. Kennedy Jr., who did not die in that plane crash, is Q. That is my final answer, sir. No, it's like that. Seriously, that's where I sit at. I won't budge from that. The JFK love story brought us the whole, I did not die. I'm not at my grave. I did not cry. I did not cry, or whatever the exact words are. And it's just like when that came out just a few months ago, I about fell out of my chair. I'm like, I mean, they're just telling us. And then in the show, the pilot of that movie, the pilot of the plane, that was JFK Jr. He was in our face. So that is who I believe Q is 100%. And yes, cool. I do believe it's a person too, because some people are like, oh, well, it's a team. It's this. Well, it's a structure. There's a team of less than 10, 3 of which are non-military. And I believe there's a structure to them. And I think there's 2 people at the top, which is Q and Q plus. That's where I get that info from. Because some people are like, oh, but Q is this. I call it a person. So
I've just got 2 quick questions there on that. In the Q drop, it says, of those less than 10 people, only 3 are non-military. Do you believe Trump to be non-military or actually military, depending on his past?
Officially, I don't think he is military. So I've always just been under the impression that he's non-military. But if you, of course, the school he went to and all that, he has the military connections, tip of the spear and all that. So honestly, I've always just thought he's not, because he didn't actually go into the army. And I think the other 3 are non-military. That I think 2 of them are Q and Q plus, which is Junior and Trump. My guess would be Scavino. Seems like he's got to be one too. But see, that's the thing is, if you want to say what you said and you add Trump, say maybe he is military, well, then who is that third person? You know what I'm saying? It's like it's all speculation from our part, but it seems like Scavino almost has to be one.
Yeah. I mean, there's other talk, isn't there, as well, that to become president of the United States, you have to be a civilian. You cannot be military anyway. So that puts it. And just one other thing I wanted to ask you. Have you looked into that R post at all that was put on the boards once? You know this post?
Yes, I do. There's so much speculation about it. I haven't talked about it much in years even. I'm actually part of a belief that I think it's actually kind of legit. And the letter R kind of makes sense. I don't really understand the reasoning behind Junior having the letter R attached to him is interesting. R in the drops, if you are in the kill brackets, R is the 18th letter. I think there's 18 R's in kill brackets as well. There's weird combos to this, but what you're seeing there, what's it say on this? In 1909, we lost everything. Yeah, so I don't remember the drop exactly, but yes, what you're looking at there is you're looking at 2 best friends who I'm not going to say what I was going to say. The Kennedys and the Trumps, I think their bloodlines are somewhat related. I think they go back a long ways. And yeah, I think this drop has validity to it, but I'm not a person that wants to argue with people, but I think there's something to it for a reason. Just like when they asked the question in the drops, is JFK Jr. alive? Depending on how you go in there and look, you can find both yes and no. So I don't really know, but I'm a belief that's a real legit type of thing.
Yeah, I am as well, and it makes a lot of sense. And the other thing I can decode from that as well is that if Q is 17 and JFK Jr. is 18, that makes 35, doesn't it? Which is JFK. So it bode well to the whole story that they're doing it because he took his father out.
Yep, that actually makes great sense. And what's interesting about you say that too is Q is 17, and if Junior's 18, which is R, why is Trump Q plus? You'd think Junior would be Q plus because that's Q plus 1. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's the other interesting part to me that kind of bugs me. It's like, well, why would he be R when he's 17? Q plus is actually Q plus 1. So I don't know. That's my brain works like that because of numbers. But yeah, that bugs me.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, well, we're all champions that he's alive, and we're going to see him again sometime anyway. So that's good. So yeah, do you want to? Where do you want to start? Because your monstrosity dig is amazing, and you've got so many digs out there and Fox News comms. You can just take it wherever you like. But
well, you guys brought up the monstrosity. Would you guys like me to just go ahead and bring that into play?
Yeah, I mean, the first bit of that, where you go through all that, and then you bring into it, you know, the two different shirts Charlie Kirk's wearing and stuff. It's just it absolutely blows people's minds. You know, I've clicked that and put it in multiple places, and people just don't know what's going on, which is great because I love that.
Yeah, I easily start right there because I kind of got it down. I kind of know what I'm doing with it now after all these months. So here, let me get screen, share screen. Bingo.
Right.
All right. So what are we looking at here? First off, let me show you the whole thing so people have an idea where this is. Right now, we're at the starting point. This is right here where I began this whole thing, and I'll give you guys the story as I go. But this thing turned into what I, of course, call the monstrosity, which is a giant thing. All of it links together. And at least if you understand all the concept around it, it all links together. And what it is the craziest decode I think I've ever seen, actually, as far as my own work. So what this is and how this happened and where this came about was during the date was, of course, 9/10, the day of. Joe Rambo had a roundtable that day. And it was either right as the show was starting or just after the show started. He had hit me up on my phone, and he was having trouble with his computer. And he's like, hey, is there any way you can come on my show real quick and help me show a couple videos? And that was the lucky piece that made this all happen, because I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. Hop in there, and within minutes, Charlie was shot. And so I'm sitting there on the show, and everybody, I see it in the chat, and people are like, what? And we pull it up on the show, and I'm like, what is happening? Like, I didn't know what to think at first. Like, at first, I'm like, it's real. And I was one of the same people. Like, I didn't sit back and 40,000 foot view type thing. I was like, whoa. But then I decided just to do the simplest thing in the world, which was this right here. I just put the date in of his. I wouldn't have looked him up. I was like, what's his birth date? What's today? How old is he when he's when he quote unquote died? Because that in my research, that matters. So here's what I did. I literally just popped in his birth date to his death date. So 10/14 of 93. Oddly enough, 10/14 is also George Floyd's birthday, till 9/10/2025. Put this in, and what numbers I saw kind of caught my attention. So when I saw this, I saw 11,654 days, and instantly my brain started catching on fire. I'm like, okay, what's going on? So for those out there that might not know, I'll grab this up real quick here. I see 654 sitting on the screen, but my eyes see 4, 5, and 6 right here, which, of course, for those that might not know, I'm seeing the now playing movies 4, 5, and 6, but it's backwards. So it already has my attention. And what did Erica Kirk post right before the whole thing was, I think it was like Psalms or whatever the exact thing was, 461, which I think dropped, if it's right, 461 is what makes a good movie, great actors or whatever, just before the Charlie Kirk shot. I'm like, okay. So I see it backwards as 654. So it's 11,654. Now, also remember Charlie Kirk on Instagram, and I think X or whatever, his name was Charlie Kirk 11. So there's another little piece. So me in my own head, I'm like, all right, let's check drop 654 and see what happens. And what ends up happening just wrecked me. And I didn't know what to even do with myself. This all happened live on air. This was the beginning of this whole thing right here. So what I did was I go to drop 654, and I'll just run up here real quick. Here's drop 654. I pull the drop up, and of course, something in my eyes caught my attention with the numbers and whatnot across the board. And then I read the whole drop and I see some connections to it. And I about fell out of my chair. I'm like, there's no way I'm seeing this. So what did I see that caused me to about fall out of my chair? Let me show you. So here's the full thing here. So he would have been alive for 11,654 days, or 31 years, 10 months, and 27 days. And when you take that drop 654 and you just put it against those numbers, you find out that all of those numbers match drop 654. And I was like, what am I seeing right now? And of course, live on air, I had to try and show everybody this and try and show people what I'm seeing, but that's really hard to do when you're just seeing it. So with this, let's put this together. You have drop 654. You have the 654 in the days. January 31st with the 31 years, 10 months with the 10 o'clock time, 27 days for the 27 time. The only number we didn't use is our 11 up here. And of course, there's two ways of getting to it. 2018, if you add those numbers together, 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 8, you get your 11 up there. Or the leftovers of January is actually 1. And the leftover number over here is 1. So you have 1, 1, or 11. Either way, it actually hits. And when I saw that, I'm just like, what is happening? So I already knew I was off to a good start. I was like, I didn't know where it was going to go. But then there's another piece to it is when I just look a little lower, I also see the ID number has 187 in it. And of course, what had just happened to Charlie Kirk was he was 187, which is the code for murder. So again, just that all by itself, that's a drop my mic, walk away moment because I didn't know what was happening. And then, of course, it led to what we're going to go to. So now let's go to drop 654 and actually see what's in it, because this is where it gets crazy. This is absolutely wild. Now, one thing about it is for anybody that's new to this drop 654 is covered up. The actual normal picture inside of it is being covered, so you won't be able to see it. So it's a little confusing because this is the decode. But so drop 654, I already connected all these numbers across the board, plus your 187 right here. So now let's see what's actually in the drop. And again, the picture itself is up here. You can see the Liberty. But we're going to go down to the actual piece inside the drop, which is going to be the name of the picture in drop 654, which happens to be quad zeros and freedom. And of course, I see freedom. I'm like, hold the phone. But then let's see what else is in here. We have Happy Freedom Day tomorrow. We have the Freedom Statue, Freedom Day, and Freedom all sitting here at the bottom of this drop. And of course, we're looking to drop 654. And of course, what was he wearing when he was shot, which was the shirt Freedom. And I'm just like, there's no way I'm seeing this. There's no way I'm seeing this. So that's where it literally began, is seeing that pieces here is 654. Every number matches. And the word freedom is the shirt he's wearing. And we're talking minutes after he was shot. This is what I see. Now, what do you do when you see this live on air on a big show and not know what to do with that information? Well, I tried to give it to people and it turned into something crazy. So now let's find out where else it went after this. Because, of course, I didn't put a whole lot together during that show. Let's see. So this right here is a delta for that exact day, the day he was shot. This is there right there, 9/10/2018. And what I caught inside this drop here is the fact that there is a 0 in the kill brackets and a 3 zeros in the kill brackets here. So you have 4 zeros in the kill brackets. That's quad zeros. What did I say the name of the picture was in drop 654 was quad zero freedom on the same day of that delta. Like, what? So again, what the heck do you do with this information? Then you have inside there, you also have the storms in the Atlantic are very dangerous. We encourage anyone in the path of these storms to prepare themselves and to heed the warnings of state and local officials. The federal government is closely monitoring and ready to assist. We are with you. The storms. Okay. All right. That's interesting. Well, where's the storm come into play? Well, we know drop 55 looked at Twitter. Exactly this. My fellow Americans, the storm is upon us. God bless. Now, what are the odds that the same day Charlie Kirk gets shot, Trump puts out a video that starts with "My great fellow Americans"? Like, for real. And of course, my explanation for it too is people are like, well, he didn't say "My fellow Americans, the storm is upon us." No, he didn't. But what are the odds that on such an important day with that much stuff hitting, he comes on and says "My great fellow Americans"? And of course, with Trump, everything's got to be great, big, better, this, that, and the other. So of course, it's not going to just be "My fellow Americans," "My great fellow Americans." Plus, I also added this: Elon bought Twitter, right? He made Twitter X. He made Twitter great again. So my great fellow Americans on the great Twitter now, so which is now X. Little piece of it, but well, let's go back to monstrosity. So back over to this though. All right. So now where do we go? Where do we go here? Let's see. Do I need to add anything to this? No. So there's your pieces that add together. So now what you're getting is on top of the 654, the same day you have a delta that hits. There's your quad zeros, matches the 654. The 654 came from Charlie Kirk's birthday, which matches everything inside that drop, including his murder. All right, so that's where the first piece runs. So now let's go to...
Hey,
gematria.
Matrix, I just noticed something in that photo of my great fellow Americans.
What's up?
You see the word Navy, and Navy's on the ocean, and that drop also said in the Atlantic.
You're right. Holy crap. You're right. Watch the water right there. Good call.
Yeah.
Good call. All right, we're going to use gematria now. For anybody that might not know what gematria is, it's very important to the Q stuff. Drop number 40 tells you to use gematria and even teaches you how. Actually, here, let me show that real quick just so everybody can see it. Makes it a lot easier. Drop number 40. That way there's proof to what I say. Drop number 40 gives you 4, 10, 20, A, B, C, D, E. So what they're trying to tell you is what does 4 equal in the alphabet, what is 10, and what is 20? Of course, that's D, J, T. So they're trying to teach you that 4, 10, 20 equals D, J, T, Donald J. Trump. So there's your, use gematria. That's what you're supposed to do inside this stuff. So with that said, we're going to do Charlie Kirk dead in gematria. Charlie Kirk dead happens to equal 119, which of course backwards is a 119, or I'm sorry, 9/11, which of course 9/11. This is a 9/11 moment. He worked for or not worked for, but he was he ran what? Turning Point. This was what? A turning point in our country, literally. So you have 9/11 backwards, 119 forward. But what else is that number? Somebody else got shot. Mr. Trump got shot in his ear. What time was that? It was at 6/11. So take that number and flip it. Same number Trump got shot with. Interesting. So where does 119 lead us? Drop number 560 is on January 19th, which is 119 is your date. Piece number 2 to it, though, is your timestamp is 3/11. 3 is the letter C. 11 is your letter K. C, K, Charlie Kirk, 119. Interesting. Now, what's the drop tell us? The shot heard around the world.
That's crazy stuff.
Like what? What is happening? Again, what do you say about just that? Just that alone. What do you say to that? I don't know.
No,
it blows my mind.
Yeah.
All right. Piece number 2, the next one. We'll go down to here. We'll do the other Charlie Kirk gematria because this here is crazy. So we already have Charlie Kirk with the freedom shirt on getting shot. We covered that. We already got Charlie Kirk dead, 119. So now we're doing Charlie Kirk in simple gematria, just his name. It equals 105. So we're going to look at drop 105. It's on November 5th, 2017, and it's very interesting. It says, please pray. Operators are in harm's way. High risk, high value targets. Please pause and give thanks to those who would die to save our republic. More to follow. So, of course, Charlie Kirk left the stage, quote unquote, died. He was an operator in harm's way, and please pray. Again, this is on November 5th. And it just so happens that on November 5th during the election, he was wearing a shirt that said pray, literally. So there's another piece to it. So 2 shirts that link up directly into the drops. Shot heard around the world, and this one here, again, I don't know what to say on that one. It's just what is happening. And then let me just scoot on over because we're going to go back to this one here because here's where Yep. Okay. That's the other piece. These two link together as well. So the Charlie Kirk from earlier with the 119, which is right here. 311. This is where I actually put it together for you guys because I have two separate pieces with it in it. So for those that didn't understand that, 311 CK, there's your 311, which was your timestamp of the shot heard around the world. Now that links over to this side, which of course is your Charlie Kirk over. Charlie Kirk over here. I love clicking buttons wrong. So either way, though, you have two separate shirts, shot heard around the world, the Pray for Election Day, Pray in the Drops, and your Freedom shirt that goes along with all of that as well. Just by two shirts, his name, and in a couple words in gematria. And all I did was a math problem. And you have all that already linking together. Now, let me back out of this, see where I got to go next. We'll go to...
Hey, Matrix, do you think there's any significance to the 311 with 11.3?
Yes, the Law War Manual part stuff, yeah. That's what I always bring it up in my show, and I'm so used to saying it that I kind of skip over it sometimes. Okay. But like, yeah, so you have your 11.3, 11.3, 311. So you have CK, KC. So you have Kevin Kleinsmith in the drops as well, which of course here I have it right here. So where'd it go? Right here. So which is important. So there's your Kevin Kleinsmith, which is KC, and he's 11.3. So you can look at it like 11.3. This year is your midterm elections. In 2020, there was the presidential election. It's a date. 3 times 11 is 33. 311 or 11.3, I should say, with Law of War Manual. You can go a million directions. Plus, KC is King Charles as well, and that's interesting how that correlates. So, like, you can go a million ways with it. But yeah, 11.3, 100% Law of War Manual. I always bring that up, but again, I do it so often I kind of skip over it sometimes. All right, let's go here. What did Cash say after Charlie Kirk is gone? Is I'll see you in Valhalla. That just wrecked me because whenever I saw this, of course, you have, okay, first off, I'm not going to, trounce on Candace Owens. I already know she says some crazy stuff, but she also has some stuff in this that is pretty wild. She comes in as a connection inside my monstrosity. So I don't care what you think about Candace Owens, but there's some form of link. She has got some role to play in this, and she's opening people's eyes to the Israel stuff. 100%. So regardless of whatever you think about her, I don't.
The trans, wives of leaders, like all that stuff. She's waking people up.
As soon as Trump starts dissing someone, everyone gives him a look. Yeah. Whether you're for Trump or against Trump, it's like, how do you get the libtards and Democrats' eyes on something? Trump just talks badly about them, and they're all over it.
Exactly. So I'll see you in Valhalla, huh? Well, let's do a little more gematria. I did see you in Valhalla in gematria. And of course, so again, why are we looking at this? We've got to make sure this makes sense. So he says, I'll see you in Valhalla. Why did he say, I'll see you in Valhalla? Well, my opinion is it's witness protection. That's where he went. He's not gone. That's my own opinion. So what does I'll see you in Valhalla bring you is 215. Drop 215 says, focus on his wife.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, whoa. So who's the wife? Of course, we know who the wife is. Now let's go over here and we see Candace Owens, and says, Erica knows everything. And I'm like, oh. See, for me, as you see, the timestamp is circled. I saw the timestamp and about fell out of my chair. And I'm like, okay, we got something going here. This is special. So see that timestamp 10:01, right? So let's go up and see what Trump posted about Charlie. You have Charlie and Trump right here, right? Same timestamp. 10:01. I was like, what? Okay, so what's 10:01? And also that's 10:01:25. I see a date right here. I saw October 1st of 25. That's what I saw when I saw it. So when I see it as date, what happened on 10:01 in 2017, I think. No, 18. That would be the Las Vegas shooting, or 2017. Las Vegas shooting happened on 10:01. 10:01, 10:01, 10:01. Okay, so I've seen a pattern here. And of course, 10:01's a shooting. He posted at 10:01 about a guy who was shot. And at 10:01, Candace Owens said, Erica knows everything. And Valhalla gives you focus on his wife. So combine it, you're all looking at Erica Kirk. So where does that take you? Where does my brain go when I hear all this? I think she's involved with trafficking in children because of all the stuff that I've learned. So let's find out if there's anything in this that you can see that does that. Well, Erica knows everything. It was at 10:01. Combine that with Trump and Charlie Kirk at 10:01. 10:01 is your shooting to combine it with the Las Vegas shooting. So let's look at drop number 10:01. Drop 10:01, April 3rd, 2018, with a special timestamp of exactly the 9/11 date of 9/11/01. You have Epstein Island. So what is she involved in is my question. And then, of course, the name of the picture for Epstein Island is 187 Site Erica. Site E. So is it Site Epstein or is it Site Erica in this situation? Very interesting. Where do roads lead? Each prince is associated with a cardinal direction, north, south, east, and west. Sacrifice, collect. You also have tunnels. HRC is built into this with pure evil and conspiracy. This is actually a kind of a link that goes to something that went on at the same time, but you also have D. Carlos Brown, who stabbed the Ukrainian chick on the train, which is also another CAGI PSYOP happen. And that links into this too. And his name is D. Carlos Brown, which also comes to D class.
Yeah.
So, and Doc Brown. So that's an interesting combo there sitting there. So yeah, what are the odds of all that though too, is you have the Vegas shooting and combining 10:01, 10:01, 10:01, all of it looks at Erica. See you in Valhalla says Erica, and that leads you to Epstein Island.
And that Site E is that 187's murder again, isn't it? There, obviously.
Correct. Yes, and of course that and by you saying that links back to 187 murder, which goes to Charlie. So E187 Erica murdered Charlie. That's kind of the way I almost look at that. Now, she didn't do it, of course, but she, in my opinion, is probably a part of it. She's already dating another dude. You go into those stories too. You could have fun with it. You could have a lot of fun with it. Okay, so now let me see, where do I got to go here? Oh, well, I guess, Erica knows everything. You guys remember this video. Yeah. I don't even think that was her. There's two different Ericas. There's one thing you want to look at is her nose. There's two different Ericas. The face is the same. The main difference is her nose and her eyes are different. So there's definitely two Ericas. I don't know if one of them are the real one or which one's the real one, but there are definitely two Ericas as well. I can give you guys that. Let's see. Where do I gotta head to? There's D. Carlos Brown. Okay, this as well. So on the same day this is going on, so when Charlie Kirk has been shot, and I'm looking at the internet trying to figure out what's going on, I get to Kash Patel, and this is the stroke of the luck right here. I happen to click on his page when he has 911 posts on the day Charlie Kirk got shot. And I've already gotten links to 9/11, of course, because Epstein Island, that's 9/11/01 is the timestamp. So that's linked into this. Well, he has 911 posts. What was his post for the 9/11? Of course, let me get down to that. He posted, the subject is in custody, had been released after an interrogation by law enforcement. Our investigation continues, and we will continue to release information in interest of transparency. So he's talking about the shooting itself. They've caught somebody and released the person. It's a 9/11 moment. When he did it, he had 172 following and 1.7 million followers. So there's 2 17s and a 2 17s. Either way, that's interesting, on a 9/11 as well. So his 911th post, which we know the day after his 9/11, what happened back when 9/11 happened was on 9/10, which was the when all the money went missing. So it's another special day. So we have the shooting on 9/10 with Charlie Kirk. And then the link to this is the FBI director also has the 9/11 built into his stuff, talking about Charlie Kirk. On top of that, the very next day for 9/11, who they have do the 9/11 memorial thing, which is number 17 for the Yankees.
Yeah.
This is just so they're comboing things on top of each other at the same exact time as well. Let's see. And then we got to go to this one. Actually, go this way. So then we have Monkey Works got in on this. So Monkey Works was doing some investigative work. And as you guys see on the screen, what's circled, he was doing those flight paths that basically Erica Kirk ended up catching on to, which was like, I guess, the Israel flights or whatever flights that were flying over. And so this show here that this came off of, he deleted. I happened to show it on my own show, get this screenshot, and then it disappeared from the world. So I have this, and not too many people do. So this right here, as he's showing here, is 9/10/25. There's your date for it, and the timestamp was 6:54 and 9:07. Does that 6:54 look familiar to anybody?
Yeah.
Where do we start the monstrosity at?
456 654.
Yep. Hello. So you have a match now to his days over here, right? So what's crazy about that? All right, 6:54. Think mirror, you get 456, and you have 9:07 sitting there with it. Oddly enough, I'm able to, in my own head, already instantly know what that connects to. And what that connects to is the 3 movies playing 456 with a double accuracy to it. Why? 654 backwards is 456. Here's your 456, and the date in which this one here for this drop, where it actually says all 3 movies playing simultaneously, is dated incorrectly, like your overseas would be for me, 9/07, which is backwards. 9/07. July 7th for me is 7/09, 456. Now playing 456 with the date built into it. Now, last piece. What else is next to that? July 9, 2019, that match with your 456. What's the timestamp? 217.
There's your 217s.
There's your 217s right there from Cash Patel.
Yeah.
All linking together.
Like this is amazing, this stuff, isn't it? I don't know how people can look at this and look the other way. It's just mind-blowing, isn't it?
Well, and the only thing I would say that I think is incorrect, Matrix, is when you say as luck would have it, or just by luck. There's no luck. These are synchronicities, and you're getting I mean, I know you're being tongue-in-cheek about it, but these are true synchronicities of when you're supposed to be looking. You know, you can't put an explanation to that stuff.
No, you're 100% right. And I'll just be honest with you, you're right. I'm tongue in cheek. I'm so used to this happening to me that I just have fun with it now. I just know it's going to happen. Like, I just see it coming, basically. And it's just like, how's it going to happen today? What are they going to throw at us? And it's like, yeah, you're 100% right. It's definitely not coincidence. They do it on purpose. Every bit of this is on purpose. So yes, you're right.
Well, no, but I meant you said it about your timing. Like, you went, you know, Rambo asked you to come on, and his luck would have it.
Oh, I know.
You were supposed to, like, that's not luck. You're being led.
I know. And I don't like to say that, because anytime I talk about it, I feel like people think I have a big head for saying something like that.
No, it's
like,
not.
How else do you explain it? How do you explain it? You can't explain any other way, because again, I go on a show that happens, I type that in, and it led to this. Like, I know I eventually probably would have had it happen, because I would have checked his date, but I think it had to happen the way it did. It had to. It just did, and whatnot. So yeah, you're 100% right. I have a different look on it, because it happens so often. I'm so used to it now, and of course, me doing like 45 hours a week or whatever of streaming, I see so many decodes happen that it's just like, it's so natural, so normal. It's literally just, some things just go over my head, and people are like, hey, you missed this. No, I didn't. I've seen that 12 times today, bro. That's how, and it's like, it's one of those things, like, I don't like saying that to people, because I don't want to feel like an asshole, but it's like, if you guys saw things through my eyes, you'd realize I'm not missing stuff. It's just that if I stopped the show every 5 seconds like I did, we'd have 12-hour shows and get 2 things done. Yeah. So it's one of those stupid things. And I'm bad with that. So, oh man. All right. So I'm going to do a couple more pieces of this, especially this top piece. I have to. This is wild. Because I don't want to do the whole show on just this thing here. So this here is I have to show, though, because this piece really helped me put this together here. And there's a little video. If I can grab that in my clips, I probably should be able to find that. All right. So this right here blew my mind when I linked this together. So this is September 8th, 2025. So this is literally 2 days before Charlie got shot. Bukele says, buckle up, buttercups. And I'm like, all right, well, we know that line now. We've been hearing that for a while. Okay. So this is interesting. And of course, inside the drops, I have a very specific thing that I've kind of almost coined for myself because I use it almost every single day, which is find the exchange 2 days ago. And doing Fox News as much as we do, I've learned there's quite literally a very normal thing that what they do on Fox News, if you go back exactly 2 days, either to the Fox News 2 days ago or the drops 2 days before, you will get hits like you won't believe, as though there's a 2-day staggering of the dates or something. I don't know how to explain it.
Because it Matrix, it also says in the Q drops, doesn't it, 2 days ahead of schedule?
Ahead of schedule. I don't know exact wording, but yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's just like this. Find the exchange 2 days ago, 2 days ahead of schedule, different stuff like that. But it's this drop here that does it for me. And the reason why is because of what it all says. It says we were inspired by Anons here to make our efforts more public. And what are we doing is those public things they're putting out is what gives it to me. And it says find the exchange 2 days ago. So again, how I look at that is Fox News is giving you something on, say, Friday. Go back and check Wednesday. And I guarantee you're going to find those hits. So it's one of those, they're giving that specific thing to you. Now, on top of that, so Bukele on the 8th says buckle up buttercups, which again, that's 2 days before Charlie. So we're going to use the 2 days ago. So that's 2 days ago. 2 days ahead of it, we have the drop number 2134. There's your September date. Charlie got shot. So there's your 2 days difference in time. What does the drop say? But buckle up buttercups. It's about to get bumpy. 07. So of course, with those two things, you have buckle up buttercups and buckle up buttercups as well, right? Well, up here, we also have Donald Trump saying on, guess when, September 10th, what's with Russia violating Poland's airspace with drones? Here we go. And oddly enough, so on the same day, you buckle up buttercups and here we go. Well, we have a drop that says buckle up buttercups, here we go. And it's, what? And then let's see if I can grab my clips here. Let's let these load real quick. Do I have that plugged in? I do. All right, here they come. And then let's see. I got to let this bad boy load up. Where are you? Buckle up, buttercups. Here we go. Oh, is it still on my computer? Oh, I think I found it. Delta. Nope. Oh, no. Trying to be quick with it.
You probably got a lot of stuff on your computer, mate. Yeah. I've got a lot on mine.
I got way too much on my computer. Okay.
Well, I did make the mistake. I mean, I know Joe Rambo's really good at pulling up Trump links and stuff, but if I'd have known this was still going to be going 7, 8, 9 years later, all the clips I'd have saved, I'd have actually named them, so it would be easy to find, but I didn't.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing is I have my name. The only problem is I have multiple folders with multiple things of clips, and I think the one I'm looking for might not be named correctly.
Mm.
Yeah, okay, actually, it won't matter. It doesn't matter all that much. I don't have to show it. But what it was is Andrew Colvert or whatever his name is, on the 21st of September when he did his big speech for Charlie or whatever. He actually did. He goes to the stage and he finishes up by what he says, which is "Buckle up, buttercups, here we go." He actually put it together for me. That's the clip I was looking for. So 11 days after this happens, the 21st, they have the actual memorial or whatever they call it. So Charlie Kirk 11 days later, you get "Buckle up, buttercups" to finish this off. Like, seriously though, like what is going on? I could not believe that. That literally broke me. I went nuts. I went running around my house when I heard him say that. I was like, what is happening? So last piece I'll bring up, and then one reason I'm going to bring this one up is because Bukele is here. So he gave us buckle up buttercups. All right. So I know for a fact he's in on the stuff. So let's check this out. Dan Scavino reposted him on the date of April 17th. And he was reposting him saying that he loves chess. I'm like, oh, really now? You love chess, eh? Okay. Well, let's see when he wrote that. He wrote it exactly on April 17th of 2025. So, of course, I go to the drops and I find that there's a timestamp that matches the date of 4/17/25, which is exactly the date he put it. Like, okay, that's interesting. So where does that lead me to? It's drop 1888, and I'll leave the numbers alone just because I'll have too much fun with them. And in this drop, you get the Oprah show. You get to go to jail. You get to go to jail. You get to go to jail. You get to jail. You all get to go to jail. And at the exact timing when this was hitting, and I was putting this together as well to go with all this, Jesse Waters just so happens to show the actual Oprah show of her doing the you get this, and the episode number is 178, which is a flipped over 187 on 9/8/2025, which lines up with I loved our Bukele and him doing his buckle up buttercups too.
Yeah, and 9/8 is a 17, and there's also 17 pieces on that chessboard as well.
Oh Jesus Louises, I didn't know that. I did not count those.
I was counting those at the time.
Oh shit, dude. See, you just blew my mind. I didn't even know that. Those are the little things that get past me. I'm telling you.
Yeah, amazing. That's why teamwork makes the dream work, you see.
Because there's so much built in.
Yeah, there's too much built in. That's kind of the issue is how do I say this? So Trump might put a picture out, right? There might be 600 things to look at inside of it to break down, you know, and it's like, for me, I might catch 50 of them or something. You know, there's some people that catch the other 50, some people catch 100. And what's funny is we'll get all those 200 together and we'll find somebody that'll get 25 things and none of us caught.
Yeah.
It's like crazy how that works with other people's brains and the way they see things. We all see things differently. And that's the thing, people are like, oh, I love how you see things. Well, I like how this and this and this person see things. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody, I like the way other people look at stuff. So, yeah. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this back real quick so I can get myself set up for whatever else we want to get into.
Let me just show you a quick image because Enoch posted this earlier. You know, they're having this WWF fight or cage fight, whatever it is. They're just building the stage. Now, we've done a lot of talk about Stargates and stuff. You've seen what they're building at the White House. Look at this.
Oh, my gosh.
Looks like a portal to me.
Yeah. That's crazy stuff.
It's not too crazy. And I would say this, they're building the ballroom underneath, right? What are they really putting in the ballroom underneath? We don't know, but I do know that Trump owns a Ark of the Covenant, and those Ark of the Covenants, when powered up, can open a portal probably. And now they're sitting there putting what looks like a portal on top of the White House lawn for the fight. That's interesting. That's interesting.
Very interesting.
Oh,
well, I know backstage.
Sorry, let me just ask you why you finished that. When JFK got shot, there was not really any eyes on it. When Charlie Kirk got shot, we were everywhere. People looking at bullet angles and
sounds,
everything. You know, we were looking into everything. Dave Newstreeson did a great video, and he did add about 20 minutes in the middle of it about squibs and explosions in the neck and stuff. And, you know, I've watched all this stuff. We know about the trapdoor behind Charlie, how they started just taking everything down. You think Charlie's alive? You think Charlie's in witness protection, Valhalla?
Yeah, 100%. I think the biggest piece of that is when you combine the fact, what you just said, the squib, all the different videos we've seen with the different people involved, the hand signals, the camera behind them we never got. They took the thing out of that camera. There's a camera right in front of them we never got videos of. They have everybody's eyes everywhere, right? But what gets me the most is all that blood that came out of his neck, and then this body they pick up and run to the car. Those shoes were pearly white with not a single drop of blood on them. That alone is what gets me. So when we find out about the trap door, my personal opinion is those shoes being white is the key for us to see, to know he was pulled out of a trap door and that was not a real body. That's how and then of course, they bulldoze the whole place. You see the trap door, they redo the whole, really? That's not how this stuff works. That should be a key for everybody to see that something's wrong. Oh, and by the way, we'll see you in Valhalla.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, Matrix, that is a crime scene, isn't it? That they shouldn't have touched anything of that.
Exactly. That's my whole point. It's a crime scene. Why did you guys sit there and do construction work and bulldoze the whole place? The reason? Because nobody died, or else you wouldn't be allowed to.
Yeah. Exactly that, sir.
Yep. That is where I sit. All right. So we have the monstrosity out the way, at least 90% of it. So my question would be, where would you guys like to go next?
Well, wherever you like. I mean, it is very intriguing for people to see the people that do watch you and the people that haven't watched you, how many comms we are getting from various different places, the Department of Labour and Trump and Scavino and all these things, but Fox News especially, because you follow Fox News all the time, don't you? And the stuff that they show us is amazing. So any Fox comms you want to show would be amazing for people.
It's what's really interesting as we're talking about this is how many times do we tell people, it's fake news, you're still watching the news, but that's because they're watching the news wrong.
Yes.
They're watching the news wrong. And if you can't, if you're unable to decode what's going on and you don't understand it's a military operation and you don't understand Q, then you shouldn't be watching the news, because then you're watching fake stuff, so to speak.
It's amazing you say. I've never actually heard it said that way, but you're 100% right. People that don't understand the way we see the news, you probably really shouldn't be watching the news. That's actually a great way to put it. I might steal that from you. That's seriously so
totally
true.
Footnote me. Yeah, because I went to the eye doctor yesterday, and I love this woman. I haven't gone because I don't go, I only go if there's impending death. But she and I used to bond in the early 2000s, over, Obama and when he started running, and we just had this bond. And she was a very conspiracy theorist. But I saw her yesterday after a long time, and I realized how she's still open to everything but doesn't know anything. And she's asking me these questions, and Charlie Kirk came up. And she's like, so what do you think of Trump? Huh? And she's a supporter. But I was trying to explain to him, how do I explain this? In the middle, she's like, put your head here, and I'm saying things in the middle. And I'm like, you have to understand that the only way for me to say this is that we're under military control and we're sort of watching a movie. And she was like,
huh?
I think I'm going to have to watch her podcast. She was open, but she totally didn't get it. And I said, she's mentioning people. She's like, so what do you think about this vaccine thing? Don't forget, I haven't seen her in 10 years. I was like, yeah, well, and I started chatting with her, and she's like, what do you think they're going to go? They got to go after Fauci, right? I'm like, well, what if I told you they probably already did? And she was like, but I didn't see that anywhere. Shouldn't they have announced it? And it's just really funny when you see how people they just need a shove. You know what I mean? They're open, but they're not completely awake. And that's fun to me. Not the people that are fighting you, but the people who are just where do I look? How do I figure this out? Because it's not making sense, but I don't get it. So what you're doing is so... it's also fun. You know what I mean? It's not like us sitting there telling all this horrible stuff that a lot of us end up saying, this happened and that happened. It's once you can get the fact that this is an operation, then you're going to be so awake to so much more. So.
Yeah, you're 100% right on that. And people that are just waking up, all I can say is they need to be sent in the right direction.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because here's the thing is the way I see things, the way I bring stuff up on say Fox News and all that stuff, I don't look at myself or me and Oma's on show as a newbie. If you put them at our show or Joe Rambo's show or something like that, they're going to be lost, confused, and not know what's really going on. Because the word I like to use is advanced. We're more advanced than some people. So newbies, you can't just throw into the fire completely, because what you're going to do is lose them. They're not all Mickey Coachello. You know what I'm saying? So you got to bring people in slowly. You can't just bring them in and say, hey, guess what? They're eating babies. And there were no planes on 9/11. They're like, what? And you lose them. So it's so you got to start slow. You got to find ways to get them to relate to what you're trying to show them too. You know what I mean? the way I do things is like, yes, I do things that are very base level at the same time, because like Fox News will give you base level stuff all the time, but then they'll also go so deep that I've lost Omazon before in my digs. Like I can lose Omazon when I'm doing my stuff. He'll be like, I lost you 5 minutes ago. So just keep going. So it's like, yeah, I can get too deep too fast sometimes myself, but that's because the way my brain works. So that's why I also love all the anons out there, because everybody has their own niches. Everybody's on a different level. Everybody see things differently. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we all have to work together. And I cannot stand seeing, well, I now get attacked for stupid reasons, which I have no idea why, because I have no affiliations with anybody. So I now get attacked because of my beliefs or the way I see things. It's like, and I'm getting attacked by other anons for, oh, well, you believe this, you're stupid, I can't listen to you no more. That type of stuff. Is like, we're all supposed to be working together. We're all supposed to be, you know, helping each other and helping the world out. But instead, y'all are worried about, oh, my decode's better than yours and I know more than you. It's like, seriously, that's not how it's supposed to work. So anons have some waking up to do as well. Let me just tell you.
Yeah. Even though we've said you can't really red pill anyone now, they have to red pill themselves. This is why we keep planting the seeds. Everyone needs a different approach in what you send them anyway. And it's quite interesting you mentioned Mickey there, because I just want Elisa to tell you something, because we do a show now. We've all watched Mickey on Rambo, and we were trying to get Mickey on. We have got him on, coming on in July, actually, Mickey and Matt. But when we were talking about it, Elisa's cousin phoned him up. Now, Elisa's cousin, Renee, is a personal injury lawyer. He's a wealthy man. He's a very intelligent man. And we do a show now called Red Pilling Renee, and we're on episode 11, I think, and he's on tomorrow. But just to, Elisa, tell Matrix how that happened.
Oh, so this is actually my cousin by marriage, and love the guy, always have. He's like my little cousin, you know, because he's a few years younger. And every time we would talk, didn't matter what we were saying, we'd be having like a latte and he'd say something. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure about that because of X, Y, Z. And I'm not sure about this. And, you know, that one's a pedophile, and this one. And he would just look at me. And so what the most famous thing is, we're leaving the coffee shop and he goes, oh, by the way, is everyone a pedophile, Elisa? And we're giggling, right? I'm like, yeah, pretty much. So that was that. So about right after the Epstein drop, I get this text from him, and he's like, Elisa, I owe you such a big apology. And this is like not an apologetic kind of guy. You know, he's pretty like arrogant and, you know, in his ways. And he's like, I am so humbled. I've never been humbled in my life. And I am so humbled. And I'm so broken over what I'm reading in the Epstein files. And my main question is, I don't know how I didn't see all this. And I can't understand how you did and how I made fun of you. And so, you know, of course, right, when someone does that, you're not going to be like, I told you so. You know, you're going to be very warm and trying to comfort. He was broken after he read that stuff. And so after a little bit of conversation with Stu, we were like, hey, maybe we could like red pill him in front of everybody, you know, live. And so he agreed to come on. And so if you look at episode 1 versus where we are now, what a difference, because he didn't understand things. He came from a position, very liberal position, hated Trump. In fact, one of the like first times that I met him, we went to a Super Bowl party at another relative's house, and something came on about Trump, and he goes, "Oh, Il Duce has spoken," and I was like, "Okay, you know what? I'm going to keep my mouth shut because I'm new to this family, you know, the whole thing." But yeah, so I knew his position, you know, and we've just seen him now look at things differently. He was blown away, right, Stu, when we showed him
we've showed him so much stuff.
We showed him Matrix. We showed him what Matrix did and he was like, shut up. He like couldn't believe it.
I saw the video. I had everybody was hitting me up
and
letting me know. So I actually went back and watched you guys show him, and I was over here dying laughing watching his reactions.
Yeah, good.
I love it. So I do know who you guys are talking about. I did see that when you guys did that too.
Great.
That's perfect. I mean, just quickly, I showed him. We showed him. Joanne Plan to Save the World. It's only 13 minutes long, and he said, if you'd have shown me that 2 or 3 weeks ago, I'd have been, oh, that's nice and stuff like that. But he said, I watch that now and it breaks me. He said, understand, you know, and it's been beautiful bringing him along on this journey anyway.
That's so awesome of a story, though. That's so, especially since you got to see him say something about Trump, and then the whole progression of it. That is seriously a great story. That's so awesome. I wish I could have friends like that. See, for me, how do I say this? I'm definitely different now. I'm not a person now that would be like, I told you so. I still want to, but like, you know, I was a person. I changed the way I am. I was kind of a shithead, and let's just say that I lost a lot of friends and a lot of family through all the years because I was literally a couple years after 9/11. I would go to full family gatherings, and my conversation would go with, hey, you know, there's no planes on 9/11, right? Like, I'd go from 0 to eating babies. No, I'd go 0 to no planes on 9/11 in 2003 or 4. And they were like, you're a fucking lunatic. I saw planes hit those towers on TV. I'm like, did you? And I'd lose people. And of course, fast forward to now, man, I lost so many friends, family, all kinds of people, ex-girlfriends, all that stuff from this kind of stuff I do. And all these years later, I had a hardcore handful of them come back to me after all these years and go, didn't you say this like 15 years ago? And of course, when they were coming back to me first time, I was like, yeah, you fucking asshole. You should have listened to me. And now, of course, I've learned that's not how you got to be. You got to be the warm. You got to be like, yeah, now let me bring you in and show you more. But of course, I was that person that I told you so for all those years. Well, and the reason why is because I was bitter because I was shunned by everybody. So I wanted to tell them I told them so for all these years. So yes, I still have that in me. I want to tell everybody I told you so. But at the same time, I want them to learn rather than me tell them I told them so.
We've also spiritually grown through the years. Let's be real. We've all raised our vibration more than we even realize. And so the meanness and the vindication, although I do have a t-shirt that's waiting to be worn that says vindicated, but it's still in the drawer because I'm like, it's not enough people yet that in my circle. Hey, I remember being at Thanksgiving, having an argument in 2007, right before or right after, I can't remember. I think it was before Obama won, and getting into a fight. I mean, like, I was so nasty about that. Michelle Obama's a man, and going, and they were like, you're out of your fucking mind. And I was like, okay, but where do you go after that, right? Because you don't have like physical proof, you know? And I was like, okay, you wait. So we were angry because we were seeing things and recognizing things, but you come on harsh to someone, you're breaking you're getting into their cognitive dissonance. So we've learned to do it in a kinder way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all my mates are going to get I told you so, but they will get a hug soon after it. And talking about t-shirts, have you seen that, Matrix?
I saw that, actually. I saw while you were sitting here. I love it. Yeah. I saw the 100. I was like, what is that thing? That's an awesome shirt. Yeah, that's great. So Vindicate is a great one, but see, it's like you should put Vindicated on one side, on the back side you put I told you so.
I told you so. But it's so funny because there's so many people that, with that on it. There's so many people, like even with the vaccine, like we tried to warn, tell people, whatever, who knows what anybody got. We're not even going to get into that. But the point is people are afraid now when they find out. And I don't think any of us have the kind of heart that would let someone be afraid. Do you know what I mean? We don't want them in pain. We want them like, if it's something that doesn't really go into their real fear and it's just an intellectual realization, you can kind of zing them. But when someone's really in fear, I don't think any of us have it in us to just be like, well, I don't know, because I don't think we're made that way,
Well, there's a big difference. There's a big difference, isn't there? With, we're trying to appeal people we have in the past, and the people that take the piss and all that, but the people that genuinely come to you with questions get treated in a much different way because they want to learn.
That's the thing too, is people that want to learn are a lot different than people that just want to, well, let's make fun of us basically and think we're crazy type stuff.
Conspiracy theorist. Yeah,
exactly. Like my sister. Okay, so when the shots all first came up, I was still living in Nebraska, so I wasn't around any of my family. And I told my mother, I mean, instantly, I told her, I was like, do not get that shot. That is a fake shot. That's going to kill people. And my mother listened. My little sister listened, but my older sister decided it was more important to go on a cruise and get her ex, her new boyfriend, her 3 children, including a 5-year-old, the shot, and wonders why all of them have health problems now. And I told them ahead of time. When I first saw her, of course, I scolded her and was an asshole about it and said, why did you do what I told you not to do? She freaked out because I had to tell her why the situation. And I also had to pull out the Wi-Fi finder and prove to her that she has a Wi-Fi code built into her now. Because being my sister, I didn't baby feed her. It was my older sister. And me and her, we are a head-to-head matchup. So she got the full story right away. And even though I told her what I did, told her what can help her, you know what she did? Wow. Absolutely nothing. Kept doing drugs, still drinks to this day, and doesn't listen to a word I say. So there are people out there, even my own blood, who are part of the 4 to 6%. Trust and believe. There's nothing I can do to help my older sister. And what's great, though, is my little sister, about 2 months ago, all of a sudden started, have you heard of this Candace Owens lady? I'm like, oh no. And so all of a sudden, my little sister is falling down the rabbit hole. I told her, like, don't go into the Candace Owens rabbit hole, but go ahead and listen to her and then ask me questions afterwards. My little sister has gone from being a complete introvert that doesn't want to know anything going on in the world to going, hey, what's going on over here? I want to know. And I'm like, okay, this is awesome. That's so fun. I have a little sister that listens now and an older sister that, well, is retarded. So
yeah, that's great. That is, because during the lockdown and stuff like that, I wasn't allowed to Christmas for a couple of years. I wasn't in the bubble and stuff like that. All my family bought it. My mum's not here anymore. My brother and his wife have had 3 shots and stuff. But my brother in the last 2 years has said to me, well, 3 things specifically. 1, I'm never taking another one of those. 2, he asked me for gold and silver advice. And then 3, he said, have you seen all those fucking lines in the sky? Do you know what I mean? He sent me a UK government petition to stop the chemtrailing and cloud seeding and stuff. Nice. So everyone's coming around. It's taking them their time, but
and that's all. And that's the thing too, is I think what helps out too is not just Fox News, but the news themselves are also putting a whole lot of stuff out that even the normies can see. Even the normies will start asking questions. It's just hopefully something triggers them to ask those questions. You got to have something that you can't just tell people the truth. You must show them. How do you show them? You can't just show them. Some people need to get kicked in the ass and have maybe some of their money lost. They might have to lose their house. They might have to lose a family member in order for them to wake up. But guess what? That's part of the awakening process, because if you don't wake up during this process, you're going to be basically left behind in a sense. So you can be part of that 4 to 6% if you like, but we're trying to bring everybody with us the best we can. And it seems like the news is too, because the news, I know it's kind of bad if you to watch it the way you said, but if you watch it our way, they're telling us what's going on. So
it's fun, actually. You know, it's true in a lot of areas too, because if you see a lot, even with Big Pharma, right? We know kind of what's going on, but if you watch the commercials, like they do show a lot of them on YouTube or whatever, they're so absurd. They're so absurd now. I mean, I remember like back in the day, they'd have maybe 3 different, side effects, right?
Yeah.
They have like literally like there's like 12 to 17 side effects, and they're absurd because every single one of them, the side effect is the problem that you're taking the drug for. So you're taking a drug for asthma. One of the side effects is not being able to breathe. Like everyone, watch them. They all have. So I think what they're trying to also get people to say is, maybe that's not really something I should be doing, because if Trump would have come out and said they're all a bunch of crooks who are trying to kill you. But instead he's like, look at these great guys in his press conference. Look, what a bunch of look at them. And then he's making them give billions of dollars back, and do all these things, and they're captured. But you can't, people are so brainwashed to do things. So you have to make them see the absurdity.
Yes, you're 100%. And that's and honestly, that's what we're seeing. Especially here, we see the Democrats that no matter what you ask them, they either don't answer, or you could be asking them about the most random thing that they don't like. And no matter what they do, they go back to Donald Trump for some reason. Like that alone is something that's like, how does anybody not see that? Well, the problem is there's people out there that hate Trump so much that they hear that and they go, yeah, and they go right with it. So again, that's 4 to 6% type stuff, but they get so absurd with some of it. I'll just say this, like 2 nights ago on Greg Gutfeld, they did a whole skit. It was a whole segment, and they had Dana Perino walk up to some guy and they were talking to him, and all of a sudden they flash back and it's Greg Gutfeld pulling his Dana Perino mask off, and it's Greg Gutfeld, and they have a whole conversation about lizard people and all kinds of stuff. And I'm sitting there about falling out of my chair, and I'm for me personally, I'm like, this is there for everybody. They're trying to tell you something right in your face that people are wearing masks. We have the Joe Biden wearing a mask the whole time, and it's like they're putting it in our faces. They literally had Greg Gutfeld pull a mask off his face. It was crazy. And I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. It's like they go from the simple stuff to like Trump derangement syndrome all the way to lizard people. They go into the lizard people. And it's like, bro, they're putting it in our faces on Fox News. And the simple, again, people don't see it the way we see it. I understand that. But at the same time, they do stuff on the news that's so obvious that how do people not see it or ask questions? I feel bad because some of them probably do ask questions, but there's nobody to answer it for them. So all they do is ask questions and never get an answer and don't know what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, still the most important line in the Q drops for me personally is you can't tell people the truth. You must show them, which is why, and I believe Patriots are in full control. And this is why things are becoming more and more and more absurd and in people's faces, so that they just can't look away. And maybe we will be left with that 4 to 6% when the hammer goes down, or however it's going to unfold. But people have had chance after chance after chance to pay attention. And if they don't, that's down to them. It's free will.
What was that recent one? Was it a Mondami one with the block of cheese? What, I don't know. I mean, it's so ridiculous. You're going to get a block of cheese if you... I don't know how people aren't hysterical, like laughing.
I don't. We are. I'm laughing.
We are. Yeah.
I think it's hilarious. We're watching a damn movie, and that's the thing is. Here's the thing. Me and Omazon will do a show, and even Omazon sometimes will get caught up in certain things. I will too, but like I'll catch Omazon and I'll do the story in the show. Is somebody on the show will do something, and Omazon will do the typical thing where like he'll get mad about the situation, and I'll let him get mad. And when he's not, I go, "Hey, Omazon, you do realize that you gave them the reaction that they wanted to give you to give them?" And he goes, "Ah, shit, you're right. They got me." And it's like, that's exactly the point. And so if you can get my co-host Omazon to get that, it's like, how do these people out there not see this stuff and not get them enraged? Because Omazon knows it's a damn movie and he's still getting, amped up about certain things. It's crazy to me. And then you get people out there that don't know what's going on. They see something on the news that makes them go, "What the frick is happening?" And all they do is go, "Huh, okay." And they walk away. Yeah. They don't pay no attention to it. Those are the people that need to get knocked upside their head and be shown this. This is why I think as we go further, crazier stuff's going to happen and whatnot. Before the big good stuff happens, something's got to kick that last 15% of people, not 4 to 6, but the last 15% that's going to follow us. They need to have their asses, knocked into motion is what it is, because there's that 4 to 6%, yes, but there's a literally 15% above them that are still being retarded right now, and those people need to have something shown to them.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, we've been watching it unfold for years, haven't we? You mean if I get these, like, if I take that, I can have a free portion of chicken and a burger, build a blazer and stuff.
You get to have, hey, you get to have McDonald's. You get to have human meat for taking a shot. Here you go.
Yeah. Right.
So did you want
to Matrix or?
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you wanna touch a little bit, because we had the benefit of talking to you behind the scenes, but touch a little bit, because now I'm just obsessed and I have a car ride to go up to Saratoga Springs for a funeral, and I know what I'm going to be listening to on the way. But about the
Templars,
founding fathers and the Templars.
Oh, you want to go that route? Oh, okay, sure. Let me.
Elisa, you've got plenty of time, haven't you? Have you got to go at any stage?
I need to leave by 1, so I don't know how much time because I have to jump in the car and we got to start driving.
What's that? 1, that's 6. That's an hour and a half. That's loads of time. Yeah, don't worry. Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to. All right, if we talk about what we were talking about earlier, all the Templars and founding fathers, and then we can do a few Foxcons and stuff, and maybe that little bit of mask wearing and reptilians they were talking about 2 days ago. Whatever you want to do, Matrix.
Okay, so I think we probably should do Fox first, and the reason why is because the Templar will take longer, and I want to make sure we hit the Fox stuff first because that's kind of something that mainstream people need to see. Because when we get the Templar stuff, it's gonna go. It will be a little too deep for some people, probably. And some people are not going to like the information, and I'm okay with that. So.
Yeah.
Well, it's very triggering. I mean, I think in some way, at some point, we all still get triggered, whether it's our upbringing, our belief system, whatever it is. But I think with the open-mindedness, you give yourself a day, and then the intellect and common sense takes over, and you're able to absorb it. But a lot of people don't have that capacity, and they just turn off. So you're right; we have to do it a little slow.
Right. So I did grab a handful of Fox things. I wasn't sure which way to go with the Fox stuff. So I kind of got some very basic ones and just a couple little more intricate ones to give people out there that might not know about Fox News. I guess how they work, the things that they do. They put stuff in our faces. I even have one clip, which this time I'll make sure I have the clip because I know I have this clip. Because there's the things that they do. It's hard for me to explain just how crazy good they are at what they do. And of course, I'm referring to comms specifically. Here, let's make sure I have this here. There it is. Cool. Got this link. I got it this time. All right, cool. I will have this. So I started doing this. Let me see. 3 years ago on May 17th was me and Omazon's first time working together. So when we first started working together, he was already watching Fox News, but not decoding it. He was that was the show or the news he got from, right? So we started working together, and he literally brought Fox News in the show. He said, let's watch some Fox News. They actually put out some decent info for whatever reason. And there was some cute stuff he had to it, but it was just the start of it. Well, we started doing it, and I start just randomly, catching stuff. And it's like in a sense, one thing led to another. And I was like, all of a sudden, a few weeks or a month or two in, once I got used to Fox News, because by the way, the first month or two in, I was telling Omazon, I'm sick of Fox News. I don't want to deal with Fox News. It is retarded. A few months in, I got used to it, and things started making sense. And all of a sudden, I caught on to what they were doing. And that led to, craziness, because I actually created a logo, legitimately created a logo for Fox News of my own, which now that I have myself set, I'll bring you guys on over and show you.
Cool.
I created this logo right here.
Hang on. There we go.
And it's an exact match to Fox News. I call it Fox Comms. And of course, I just added the 1717 for a time, which everybody out there that sees it and they see my decodes or the show, they're like, hey, it's 1717. If you watch it, it never changes. But anyway, so I created this logo because it gotten so crazy. I've tagged Fox News. I've tagged Gutfeld. I've tagged Jesse Water. I've done all kinds of stuff in their work, trying to get their eyes on what we're doing, to let them know what we're doing. And over the 3 years, it's definitely worked, because they have definitely talked to us directly in more than one way, even to the point where me and Omazon, we talked about this last night. It's the only reason I'm bringing it up. We had some comms last night that were very personal to us, which is crazy. But Fox News knows what we're doing, to the point of me and Omazon. I asked Fox News to give us something personal, so we knew they were actually talking to us and not just like, oh, we're just seeing it. They gave me my first, middle, and last name, my best friend's first and last name, where I live, Omazon's first, middle, and last name, where he lives, and has combined them inside their shows. To the point where me and him are talking privately, going, did you see that? Did you see that? Are you kidding me? And like, they legitimately are watching our show. Somebody is from Fox News. And that's been proven by Tron. He gets Scavino to do stuff. Space Shots had stuff. Rambo. We all had stuff happen to us. They watch us, right? So Fox News, in my opinion, is the leader as far as at least mainstream media goes. These guys are purely operators. I think they're run by the white hats, and Trump even told us so. A few years ago, on the end of May, Trump told us to watch Fox News. who to watch. Jesse Waters, Hannity, Judge Janine at the time, Laura Ingraham, and I think one more. He gave us like 5 people to watch. From that point forward, I also said out loud I was going to be focused on Fox News. And since that time, it has become my thing. So Trump told me to do it. I did it. So with that, there's a little background to it. What you see on the screen is a very basic model, something that anybody can see. Of course, we talked about, of course, TDS. What to say? It says Behar, it's Trump's fault. Of course, that's what I show. But simple logic would for me is, what do you guys see right here? Does that remind you of a Q drop at all?
Yeah.
So just a simple version of what I see when I see that. I just go down and I find this. Just something simple to put together, and I see this. Now, here's the thing is, yes, this was created as a decode, but there's nothing special about it. All I was doing is pointing out the fact that they're putting out something that looks just like something in the Q drops. Nothing too special about it.
Yeah.
And of course, just as he gave up everything, yada, yada. So there's just something to show people that they're actually putting something in your face that looks just like a Q drop. So there's a little piece right there just to give people an overview of where what you might happen to see. So now let's go a little bit deeper and add some more into it. All right, so now we have Bret Baier on the screen. So the bottom piece here, of course, is the normal thing. The top piece I added to it because it came up twice in a row. So this is kind of a double at once. But it says blunt delivery. Trump addresses world leaders at the United Nations. And also it's exactly 5 o'clock, which is on the screen when I caught this. For people out there that don't know, yes, it says Central. The times on Fox run from Eastern, Central, Pacific, and Mountain. All 4 matter. And yes, I will also go back and use the Eastern times as well. Yes, I do everything. But for these situations, just utilize the timestamp that I caught with my screenshot. So again, this one here is you have blunt delivery, and it's at 5 o'clock exactly. And inside the drops, we have to be blunt, game over. And the reason why this is so important is because it is 1700 hours. 17 is, of course, the date. So you have your 17 match up along with the blunt delivery. What's the delivery is Trump saying it's game over for the UN. So simple stuff like that. All I'm doing is hitting the word blunt, going in and tying things together. So again, slowly moving forward as far as the complexity goes here. Now we're going to go to a Greg Gutfeld. This one here is, well, I love this one. I remember when this happened, I knew exactly where this is going to go. Here we go. This is back on the 18th of September of 2025. So this is a little while back. So all they did was show Trump and Barack Obama on the screen. That's all they did. And I instantly knew what in my head I was going to connect it to. So I went to the drops and found that drop. Drop 4205, May 11, 2020. And of course, we have Trump and Obama next to each other, kind of like they showed. Trump's 20, Obama's 18. Says the war is real. He fights for you. Now, that's nothing special right there by itself. But who are these people? The guy on the right, he's a patriot. Guy on the left, he's a traitor. So with that said, what timestamp do we see on the screen here when they show us this? 8:02. So let's just go look at 8:02 and see what 8:02 happens to tell us. There's our 8:02 timestamp. Here's drop 8:02. We have an American flag. That's cool. And we have, let's see. Oh, the definition of a patriot and the definition of a traitor. Literally. So they show us a traitor. They show us a patriot. The timestamp in which they show them to us, that timestamp takes us to a drop that gives us a literal definition to a patriot and the definition of a traitor.
Now, Matrix, that when they show that, does the timestamp change in, what zone in the United States, or is it like you took the? If you would have waited, would it move to 9:02?
That's the thing. Okay, that's kind of the beauty of the way Fox does this. So when they show things like, let's just say this, you're going to have Greg Gutfeld talking, and they'll show this picture. They might have this picture up for a minute, 3 minutes, or 10 seconds. So it doesn't matter what the exact timestamp is supposed to be Eastern time, it's when they show it.
Okay.
So there's multiple levels to it too. So there's moments when in this situation, I just use the timestamp in which I caught it. But see, if I want to go deeper, I can always say, well, we always got to use Eastern. So yes, 8:02 hit. So let me go check Eastern time. So we'd have to go to what, 10:02, check 10:02. And yes, you can go deeper and do that. And yes, that can combo. But because of the way Fox does it and because of how quickly things roll by and because there's 4 timestamps, the way I run it is whatever I catch it at, that's what I roll with. And of course, if I need to go deeper, I will do the real timestamp as well, which I've actually, the thing I'm about to show you next is, or 2 things from now, maybe, is going to hit what I'm talking about, where I use 2 separate ways of a timestamp. I'm not good at taking clips. I'm good at taking screenshots. I probably get like 100 plus screenshots, sometimes 400 screenshots a day doing Fox comms. So it's when I catch it and what I catch. It's like, so it's typically it's just right when I'm catching it. If I want to go deeper again, it can sometimes help it. It can sometimes hurt it.
Well, I think again, we come back to the synchronicity and be where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be, because that is pretty uncanny that that timestamp brought you to that drop. I mean,
right. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And again, you got to, how do I say this? Think of it again, maybe from my point of view. Like I see that, I see the timestamp. I in my head, I'm already like, I know who these people are. I think of them as a traitor and a patriot. And I go look at drop 802 and I see that, like from my point, I'm just like, whoa, like how do they do that? Like, it's just crazy to me. And it's like, even to this day, as much as I do it, I still get my mind blown every single day. It's crazy. It's crazy what they do. So let's go a little deeper now. Let's do this.
So who do you think is doing this? Like you've got, so it would seem to me in my very, top of my head thinking that we had all these years from 2017, when we were looking at the Q boards, right?
Yep. So
this is the new Q board, basically.
Yes. Now, some people like to say and go, oh, the drops told you that there's no outside comms. No, the drops told you to watch the news, and the news unlocks the map. Therefore, the news is part of the boards, literally. So, and what, I don't know exactly if this is true or not, but I'm pretty sure Fox News is in the drops more than anybody. Ever since I've started following Fox News, I've started to notice that now. I think Fox is just the main one, but all of the networks are run by the white hats, all of them. Scott Jennings over there on, was it MSM or whatever channel he's on? He's your Jessica Tarlov from Fox, but he's over there on MSM or whatever show it is. Scott Jennings over there and eats everybody's breakfast, lunch, and dinner twice over. And the reason for that is because the white hats are putting them in because people are still watching those shows. So they put a white hat in there to give people some red pills. That's what that's for. Yeah. Now, on your screen, does that look a little weird? Now, that's Fox News. They did that.
With all the picture within a picture with it getting smaller and smaller.
Right. So you guys run a show. So you know how you guys can do that with your system, to where if you do the wrong screen, it'll do a picture and picture and picture and picture all the way through.
Yeah.
So in how I worded this is like, so this is live during a show. Somebody hit a button and that showed up. So they clicked the wrong button. So it was a glitch, legitimately. And it's also a side by side. So we have a side by side and a glitch at the same time. So this happens on the same day as a EBS glitch happened with Trump. So we had 2 glitches in one day, one from Fox News, one during Trump's main situation, and they combined together. Check this out. So as you see on the screen, you have the side by side. What did we use last time to connect it together? Timestamp. So what do we have for this? Timestamp. This happens at 11:52. Very simple way to check it out. Let's just go down and check out drop 11:52 just to see what it says. We have April 15, 2018. Side by side graphic.
Oh my God.
Now, that is piece number one. And what kills me, though, is the fact that what did we use to get here? The timestamp. The timestamp of a legit side-by-side glitch is 1152. We used 1152 to drop 1152, so we're using the timestamp. SSLL deal drops with original timestamp. We're using the timestamp to see a side-by-side legitimately. Like, what are you doing? How do you do that? That had to be timed out perfectly for that to hit.
Wow.
So that's one. Now let's go to the other one that day. Glitch number 2. President Trump gives remarks on the economy in Clive, Iowa, and this pops up on the screen. So here's your moment where I'm going to use 2 different timestamps. So this one happens at 3:37 p.m. Mountain Time, and it happens at 5:57 Eastern Time. So in this situation, just what you asked about, I used both. Caught it at 3:37. And what time did it really happen? So we're going to do both of them. And as you can tell, there's your 119 again when that happened. So let's see, how did I do this? Oh, that's how I linked it. Okay. So going to drop 1737. Reason why. That timestamp up here is 3:37 Mountain Time, 5:37 Eastern Time, 1737 Military Time. 1737. So the date in which this happened is on January 27th. So J27. When we go down here at the timestamp, it's on J27, July 27. So another J27, oddly enough. And what does it say? But device test. So again, we are matching both the glitch and the drops to the timestamps, and it's perfect. And that's twice in one day.
Wow.
Now, the second one, guess what? It was at 3:37 I caught. So we actually went to 3:37 as well to see what it has. Patriots, rest assured, we are in control. Watch, confirm, and disseminate. The country is not divided. This is fake news. Antifa was organized purely for optics and division. It's fake. Estimated 4 to 6%. Does this sound familiar to our conversation?
Yes.
We consider hopeless and forever brainwashed. This requires deep cleaning. These people are stupid. You are safe. Have faith. Now, these people are stupid are highlighted here for a reason, because there's one piece you guys haven't seen yet. So we had 2 glitches on the same exact day. Already broke those down. But did you know that in the drops, there's exactly one drop with the word glitch, and it has 2 glitches in that one drop. On top of that, think mirror. The American people are not stupid. Well, the timestamp I caught it at 3:37 has these people are stupid to go right with it. So a double glitch, 2 separate things, 2 separate times on the same day, and it all aligns together. And if you didn't notice, guess where they came from? Fox News and Fox Live Now, not Fox News, a separate Fox channel combining with them because they all work together.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just what? Now, are we able to go? Oh, one more. One more I think you guys will really enjoy. You guys know about the Artemis mission, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. All right. Fox News gave me just uber crumbs for this. This is so stupid. So the Artemis rocket and all this stuff that you're going to see as far as pictures go is going to be Fox News. So they do a little 3D thing. They got Paul Morrow on, and they're letting us know it's 322 feet tall. All right. So as we probably know, 322 will go to your skull and bones, Geronimo and the drops. But what does 322 point at directly? Drop 322 points at Barack Obama. His Arabic ring, his inscription, 4th quarter Patriots we fight. So that right there is your 322 link going to Barack Obama. Now, they're talking about this rocket 322 feet, right? So in the drops, we have something that's similar to it from a movie scene. James Bond movie, drop 437. Now, what's it saying here is pretty interesting. It's from the James Bond movie, You Only Live Twice, Ken Adam set design. So we know about the moon landings, right? The Stanley Kubrick videos and whatnot. If anybody out there in the chat thinks we went to the moon, you need to do some research. Let's see. Just imagine North Korea like James Bond film. They're only a little bit of hell. You can imagine with the cash they have stole, missing N, what they could have built on North Korea paychecks. They work or die sort of free. The 2011 shuttle program was terminated by Hussein loses space dominance. Notice they don't say outer space dominance. You also have the Iran nuke deal, SpaceX, and NASA all inside of this drop. Eye of Ra, symbolism and whatnot. But what happened the day after the rocket lifted off from Artemis? Now, in the drops, a missile or a rocket is represented by the letter I, because in the drops, we had the word missile missing a letter I at one point. So our letter I represents a missile or a rocket. So we have this from James Bond movie, right? What's in the James Bond movie but a rocket? So we're going to take that rocket and use it as a letter I, and notice that the very next day after the Artemis mission, that Miss Bond D with an I at the end got fired. What are the odds? So I think it was a marker point for us. So let's go one step further and see what Fox News gave us. This guy here is Barry Butch Wilmore. He went on to Fox News to talk about this whole moon thing, right? So as they're talking about it, he's sitting there letting us know about his 286-day stay on the ISS. Oh, did you now? So he's claiming to have a 286-day thing up on the ISS up in outer space. Well, my opinion is that you didn't go up in outer space and that you were here on the ground. How can I prove that? Well, as above, so below. Think mirror. All right, 286 days. Let's mirror that and go to 682. Let's see what happens. 286 mirror equals 682. You guys tell me what the odds are of this. We saw the rocket, right? The rocket goes into outer space. Well, the mirror of a rocket would be a building that looks like a damn rocket that's on the ground. And what does it say here? We see you. He's live. And what they have him on Fox News, but on live. They're not up in outer space. They're on the ground in a dunk tank at NASA.
Wow.
And just for fun, the last piece, if you guys didn't know, you have Christina Koch or Koch, Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, and Jeremy Hansen. When they got on stage afterwards, they were sitting on stage. They actually did put them in the right order finally. So your token black guy is represented by Barack Obama, which of course I showed you earlier with the Arabic ring. And of course, because he's married to Big Mike, let's take Victor Glover and put him over here in front of Christina Koch, exactly like they were when they were on stage. And you have the Koch Glover, literally, which is Barack Obama. No kidding. The whole thing was a damn show.
My gosh.
Yeah. All right. So first thing to do is I got to set up if I'm going to do some Templar stuff, though, because...
You know, I have a relative who we've like stopped talking at periods of time because I've tried to tell her, she just doesn't want to know. So when you just have that, she's older. So I just, oh, nice, nice. She's like, you know, it was so nice for this younger generation to be able to see a space mission because, you know, it was back in the late 60s, the last time we had something like this. And I was like, yeah. Oh, she was brutal. She wouldn't talk to me. She cursed me out. I was a tinfoil hat when I was trying to explain to her about Butler, Pennsylvania.
Oh God.
That's
a really tough one to tell people.
It is tough. Yeah. It is tough. But I was trying to give her, like, explain to her she shouldn't be upset. That was the whole point of how it started.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of a question for you. When you guys, for both of you, when you guys first saw Butler happen, what was your initial reaction? Were you guys freaked the hell out?
No.
Okay. Didn't even like raise my blood pressure. I didn't see it.
I was a bit like, oh, what's gone on? right? But initially, you want to find out. But we all dug into it and stuff. You know, Trump has 60, 70,000 people at every rally inside and hundreds of thousands outside. There was only 10,000 people there. We talk about the 60,000 secret army. You've only got to get 10,000 patriots dressed up there. We've got Comparatori with his name spelt wrong. It's just so many things. You know, there was a Pac-Man, wasn't there? Or was that Charlie thing? Do you know what I mean?
You know what? When I had it like on, but I was like cleaning. And so I was on the phone with this relative and she's like, oh my God, they just shot him. But my visceral thing was just think about, I remember years ago hearing, and I don't remember whose show it was on, that the targets they have from space, wherever the hell it is, that they could literally take someone out. This is before we knew about like a lot of these energy weapons. And it was just that he is so protected and POTUS is insulated and all that I thought, how many attempts have been made on his life that we never heard about unless we're looking for. And now they're making a big, like, it was just like an instantaneous thought. I had no worry because I was like, no, it's fake. It's just fake.
Yeah, I mean,
no one's going to get in. No one's going to be able to get to this man.
Well, I've sort of known that anyway. Right in 2017, Q drops 4 and 6. POTUS is 100% insulated.
Yes.
Any discussion suggesting there's even a target is false. And if you believe the Q drops and you look at this stuff in the military operation, and then you look at Butler, you think, you know, we're comfy, aren't we?
Look at people, right? And they would like. You know, if this was real, you wouldn't have even seen him. There wouldn't even have been an opportunity for him to go fight. Like, they would have got him the hell out of there before you could snap your finger.
Yep.
If there was any way anyone could take him out, he wouldn't have even been there.
Right.
This is why when he used to do his rallies to start with, don't you remember, he used to fly in on Air Force One into a middle of an airport with about 3 miles sniper sighting everywhere. He had military everywhere, snipers and stuff. He was well out of the way. Well, he doesn't just walk around, right, places shaking hands with people and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And also remember what he'd do too is he'd pull up in that airport from an airplane, get off the airplane, walk 100 feet, and he's on stage.
Yeah,
that's right.
So he didn't have to go very far either. That's the crazy part. So those are situations I wonder which one of those were actually really Trump. Like everybody speculates on that. Which one is the real Trump? We don't have any clue.
That's the other thing.
Exactly. So
like they're going to have this guy going here, going there. He's walking around. There's no way. It's just
the dude doesn't sleep either. He's 80 years old. Anybody really think he's up at 3 a.m. tweeting out 200 tweets in a night? Come on, man. Like it's not. There is a Trump. I don't know which one it is. There's a white fat one that's in Mar-a-Lago and the 6 other ones we see at the rallies. So which one is it? I don't know. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. And the reason I asked you that though is because I was actually live on air. We were covering it when it happened. And my exact reaction, I don't know exactly how Omazon reacted himself because I can't see him. But like my exact reaction was I heard the chick, chick, chick. I saw it happen. And my first words were, something's wrong here. This ain't right. And my thought was, this is not real. I said it out loud the second it happened. And it's like, and then I look back and I did some decodes on it. It's like, yeah, I'm glad you guys agree. Because with Charlie Kirk, I was a little different because the blood and the other stuff, it looked a little bit more real at first until you thought about it. And then, of course, you plug a date in and you're like, oh, okay, they're lying to us. So,
yeah.
All right.
Excellent. Well, I just want to say something because obviously we were talking backstage and we're going to talk a bit about Templars and Masons now. We were talking about Charlie Freak and his 4-part of the A to Z takedown of the cabal and how all the capitulation tour came from that and all the good work he's done. But in that, you see Bin Salman going around all of Silicon Valley, you know, capitulating all the people from big tech and the news and Twitter and Jack Dorsey and all these people. So this, you know, was the news even controlled by the White Hats before that? If not, that was still 8 years ago. They have been in full control of this media operation.
100%.
Yeah.
So how do I want to begin with this? How do you want me to go about this? That's my question. Because What I'm about to bring up, unless you've seen my Knights Templar series, which I've had now 8 episodes in, you might be very lost on what I'm about to bring up or why. So,
well, let me first say that our audience is extremely sophisticated. I will go out to say that, and they are very, I mean, they put things sometimes in the chat that we're like, oh, right. Yeah. Who thought? So, but what I would say is we're all aware of Q, right? We've heard, let's put it that way. Nobody knows for sure. We've heard that there's like bloodlines or people that are, if you go back to Kennedy and Lincoln, right? And you go back and you have sort of the good bloodline versus the bad bloodline. I'm making it in real simple terms. But it starts to make you wonder, how far back has this fight been going on?
Cain and Abel.
Right. And we cut it down. It's really, you could just break it into 2 things, good and evil, right? It's pretty simple. So with that said, we are in the habit now of saying the white hats, the black hats, with the old reference to the black and white cowboy movies and stuff to delineate between good and bad people. But what if this goes deeper? And what if the people that we know as the white hats have a deeper connection to something more benevolent that they've been fighting for? And if we kind of start with that premise, maybe that's like a lead in to what you want to.
Perfect. Absolutely. You set that up perfectly.
Yeah.
All right. So in all this research and whatnot, through the years now, of course, we are coming up on our 250th so-called anniversary of our country. And when I say so-called is because, well, when in this new research I've been doing, which of course involves what's called the Knights Templar, I've gone back in time and I'm learning the original beliefs, the way they thought, what their original missions were, and what the whole Templar order was all about. And the reason for that, of course, is back when I, started all this, Templars, Masons, and the whole secret societies was one of my very first digs. Through those digs, I thought most of them were all evil. And then Oak Island, the show came out, got me back into the Templar stuff. And I've been following the Oak Island stuff this whole time, which I learned more about in this Templar dig show. But how I came about this information, first off, is new information is coming about. There's a guy, the current, not 33rd degree, but 33rd official Grand Master of the Knights Templar currently since the first Grand Master. He's been coming out and giving out basically the secrets. Basically, he's in a sense saying that the secret society is not going to be a secret anymore. Okay. And he's got some crazy information coming out. And of course, I didn't latch on to his information because one of the things I heard him say in these interviews really turned me off to the information. It was one of those things where I shouldn't have gone, oh, I don't like this for that info, because he got the reaction most people would give. And I don't really want to say that info right this second because it's really going to turn some people off, but it has to do with Jesus. And when I heard, I was like, okay, I don't like that. That just sounds too crazy. Well, I didn't listen to him. It took me months to get back to him. When I finally did, I could not believe what I was hearing. So that information led me to go deeper. And where it has led me is where I'm about to go. And I'm going to start linking some stuff together for you guys. Is first things first. I will say this, until quite literally just months ago, if you asked me about the Masons and those secret societies, I would have told you right away that they're evil, no good. Now I've done over a month and a half of investigative work, non-stop digging into this stuff. And I'm very specifically obsessed with the Knights Templar. And what I've learned now is, and here's my belief, is that the white hats we are talking about now, the people that asked Trump to run, I now believe are the original Knights Templar coming back into play. I also believe the Knights Templar are our original founding fathers, and their entire mission, their covenant, led to our founding fathers. Our 53 founding fathers that were Masons were actually Knights Templar. And that has led to our country's founding, quite literally. And the story goes back, they were over here in the Americas as early as the like 1100s. And they were bringing treasure over here, yes, from the Holy Land, just like the stories you guys have heard about them. I've gone deeper. I found out they at one point had 7 vaults here in the U.S. And yes, there is Vault 7 in the drops. I've connected that as well. And through this information, though, this is what I've come to believe. Now, some people out there are going to go, well, wait a minute. If the Masons and whatnot are evil, then why would we want the Knights Templar to be the White Hats? Or how could they be the White Hats? Well, the thing is the Knights Templar, the originals, the Freemasons originals, the Masons originals were never meant to be evil. They were never devil worshippers. They were never pedophiles. They were none of this stuff. The people that took over and infiltrated those societies have made it that way. And since 1871, when our country was taken over with the Organics Act moving forward, everything has been perverted to a point that we don't even know what's real, what's not, what's fake, what's gay. I don't know anymore. That's what this research is for. So with that said, the Templars and their original belief system, they are a Gnostic group. They do have the beliefs of Jesus. They do not follow the church, though. Okay, there's a few major differences. One of which is they do not believe Jesus died on the cross, and there are heavy-duty reasons of the reason why, but that does not take away from the Christian religion. Just want to throw that out there now before I lose people by saying that. Now, with that said, what did these guys do? How are they the White Hats? And how can I connect them into anything in any way, shape, or form? Well, I guess the only thing I can do is bring it on over to the screen.
Right. So there we go.
Okay, so we have our Knights Templar. They were founded in the year 1118. Okay, so I do have pictures so I can zoom in on things for those out there on a phone. There's your year nice and close up for you. That's the year they began, was 1118.
Can I just say something, Matrix? There's a Q drop, wasn't it? America will be unified again. Isn't that almost identical to that? 1118 or something.
Oh, just wait till you see me connect it.
Perfect.
That's actually piece of the ending piece of all this too. All right. Let's see. Where do I got to go here? Let's see. Their mission for people out there. Their mission is called the Covenant by the Templars. The mission is to establish a free Templar state in the New World, a place of freedom from monarchy and church persecution. So no kings, no church persecution is how this country was supposed to be founded. A place of freedom from monarchy and church. Again, monarchy and church, no kings. Brother Francis Bacon later called it New Atlantis. The secret purpose behind Earl Henry Sinclair's 1398 voyage was this mission, a generations-long plan to create a sanctuary of liberty. The Covenant, for you guys out there, the secret Templar mission is to establish the free Templar state in the New World, a sanctuary. I just read that. Oh, you know what? Is that the same one twice? Oh, the mission and the Covenant. Oh, we'll just go past the same thing. So now let's go to the actual dates of the lodges, okay? So the Templars began in 1118. In 1307, they were taken down by the church. And then from that point forward, let's just say that history got really blurry with what was going on. What I learned through this research is they went underground. They became many names throughout the years. They stemmed the Masons and the Freemasons in our country. So with that said, that ended up leading into what we call the Grand Lodges of Masonry. Okay. Now I call them now, I don't refer to them now anymore as a Grand Mason Lodge. I am now referring to them as a Grand Templar Lodge because of the information I've come across. So the first Grand Lodge was established on June 24th, 1717. St. John the Baptist also has a feast day on that day on June 24th. And also his St. John's Eve is celebrated on June 23rd. So I have 2 dates of June 24th, one of which is the Grand Lodge in what year? 1717. And St. John the Baptist, his feast day. Now, what's interesting is the Templars specifically, they venerate St. John the Baptist as their highest person, let's say, as in he was the person that taught Jesus. He was the teacher of Jesus. So with that in mind, they venerate St. John the Baptist, the Templars do, and moving forward in time, they happen to open the Grand Lodge on the same date. Okay, so there's your little connection to the two things. So now inside the drops, it just so happens on June 23rd, there's a few special things. And am I able to blow this up? How do I do this? Let's see, go full screen mode. Yeah, it's not going to let me zoom in here. Let me get a screenshot so I can zoom in so you guys can officially see what I have here. There we go. So just doing these screenshot things, it makes it so much easier on my life. When doing shows, it makes it easier to show you guys out there how to do things too, or show things that are small. So like, boom, now I can actually zoom in. So here you go. So on the date, June 23rd, you have 6 drops for that day, okay? And a few of the things in the drops are interesting considering the things I now know about the Templars, one of which says, knowledge is power. Take ownership of yourself and your life, which, again, I don't expect you guys to understand where that goes to, but it comes from the Gnostic things rather than the Christian beliefs and whatnot. It's very interesting how that shows up in these drops that day. You also have the doubters will soon be believers. Years in the making. What's the years in the making? I think it's that the Templars are coming back. Now, what else do we have that day? June 23rd, remember, this is St. John the Baptist. Now, how did St. John the Baptist die? He was beheaded.
They cut his head off, right?
Now, what do we have in the drop that day but a noose? What are the odds? Wow. What? That's crazy. Now, here's the last piece is, now I know this is the day before, but what are the odds that the drops on the day of that also happen to say, remember your oath? On the day of a Masonic lodge opening the next day, and their person they venerate the day before right here, and it's got remember your oath. I thought that was so interesting. I didn't know. I was like, wait a minute. There's no way I'm seeing this. Here, let me get this set so I can get my other screenshots so I can do this quicker. Let's see. Boop over here. So yeah, I see that. I'm like, there's just no possible way I'm seeing that. There's no way that's hitting the way it is. And there's nothing to it. There absolutely has to be something to that. Well, it gets crazier. Okay. So let me get this back over. Let's see, this one. Yeah, we'll do this one. All right. So again, the date, June 24th, 1717. Now we're one day later. We're on the actual date of the Grand Lodge opening. All right. Now I'm calling it a Templar Lodge. What's the date? 1717. So it's June 24, 17. Take a while. Guess how many drops that we have on June 24th?
17.
17. Are
Oh
you
my
kidding me?
gosh.
Now, here's the best part of it, though, is the drops for that day start with the People's General soon. Who is the original People's General? He was a Templar. He was George Washington. What are the odds? Also, June 24th, you guys saw this earlier. We have the definition of a patriot and traitor. What are the odds? We also have a traitor himself. What are the odds? June 24th, they are talking to us directly. You've been selected to help serve your country. They give you the missions. Together we win. So there's your starting piece. Now, I forgot I don't have all of these screenshots. So next up is, let's see, I don't need that one. That's the one I need. Okay, so give me 1 second here. I forgot I don't have all these screenshots. I want to be able to zoom in for you guys. I want you guys to see this correctly. Because what you're seeing right now is actually my PowerPoint presentation that I'm in the middle of creating, and I haven't really shown everybody, so it'll work out. Here we go. And next up, this is unreal, guys. Again, we're on June 24th. We're looking at the 17 drops for June 24th. What are the odds that symbolism is a part of, the Masons and all that stuff? They always talk about handshakes and hand signals and all that stuff. Well, on June 24th, what do we have but our hand signals? What are the odds? Honor bound, where we go, when we go, all. And then we also have Shall We Play a Game Once More? Very interesting. Now, what are we looking at here? We're looking at the same date as the first Grand Lodge opening, right? What do they do to get into a secret society? You got to do an oath, correct? Well, you guys tell me what the odds are of June 24th having this in the drops, but remember your oath. Are you ready to serve your country once again? That's how the drops finish that day, is remember your oath.
Wow.
And I got this one here. Let me go on this side. There's something else to that day too. It's not only remember your oath. There's one more piece to it I haven't shown you yet. There it is. They not only say remember your oath, but on that same day, they give us the oath. What? So again, take the oath. Mission forward. And what date is this? June 24th. That's the same date as your Masonic lodges opened. Together we win. I'm telling you, they're talking to us directly. And what else are we talking about that same day? Military Civilian Alliance. We're not talking about just any white hats. We're talking about the original Templars. I am so convinced of it, it's retarded.
Wow.
Sorry, I was muted there. Military Civilian Alliance, one of my favourite drops. But that drop, Shall We Play a Game Once More, wasn't that the first drop we had after a big period of no drops beforehand?
Yes, that was, let's see, it's right here. June 24, 22. So yeah, that was during the 2-year period where whatever. So we had what, December 8th, 2020. And then this is I think this was the first drop that came back.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And guess who it was? June 24th. Who does that link to? Well, I just showed you guys and told you guys. So what we just got done doing, let's see, we just did the June 24, 17, 17. So June 24th drops. And we also saw the June 23rd drops, right? So June 23rd went to the St. John the Baptist, who had the noose, severed head. You had to remember your oath. Then we had June 24th. That goes with the Masonic Lodge. Also remember your oath, the actual oath, the hand signals, the Patriot, the traitor, all of that stuff combines together. So now we got to go a little further, and we're now going to use that same date we just had of June 24, 17, 17. And we're going to break it down even further. So here's the thing. I know we didn't go through every single drop, but if we went and read every single drop from the last day I just did, which is that one there, June 24th, if you actually read them start to finish, it actually, like, it's speaking to us and it's giving us a message legitimately. Okay. So after I read all the June 24th drops, I'm like, okay, now I need to check out drop 624 and 1717 to see what it says. So after reading the June 24th drops, I'm like, okay, I just figured something out. I feel like I just learned to read the message. Well, drop 624 says, have you learned to read the message?
Oh, gosh.
And I'm just like, are you kidding me? So yeah, I'm learning to read the message. So that's June 24th. Now let's check 1717 to see what we get. And I'm going to hold off on what I'm going to say about this first, that. And then it says, do you understand what is happening? Think optics. Well, who's running everything? Who's got the optics? The white hats. Do we understand what is happening? Well, until I did this Templar research, no. I feel like I do now. But here's the thing is the other piece that connects to everything that I can't go deep with right here, but the timestamp, take the 0 out, you got a palindrome. The ID number, you got a palindrome. I've noticed that anytime I'm doing the Templar digs, I'm finding palindromes. So it's another little link I'm finding inside of the Templar stuff. But yeah, now you have 624 and 1717 that kind of is, after you read the drops in the correct order, it feels like it's now talking to us directly. All right, so now we get the fun piece. Okay, now we're going to get into the really wicked stuff here. You guys are going to love this. All right, let me get set up here. I'm going to get all my pictures ready because I don't want to show you PowerPoint because it makes it, I can't zoom in, and I enjoy that. There we go. We'll do this one. Oh my God, you guys are going to love this. I think people are going to freak out when I get done with this. I got 2 more to take because I think I have proof 100% of what I'm talking about too. And I don't mean just by using Q drops. I think I'm going to use multiple levels of intelligence to prove this to what I'm saying here. There we go. Got them done. All right, sweet. I had to do that quick. All right. So next up is Donald J. Trump. Oh boy. So we just got done seeing as well. Let me see if I go backward there. Nope, that's it. I showed it. Didn't mean to. So on that day, we just saw the Masonic Lodge opening. We have this drop here, which has your symbols with your hands and whatnot, right? June 24th. Well, did you guys know that Trump actually did go to Aberdeen, Scotland, went to a Masonic lodge and got a degree? So just that alone doesn't need to be a Masonic thing. It's just the fact that he was in a Masonic lodge in Scotland, which, not to go too deep, but in the Templar stuff, I learned that Scotland's one of the most important places in the entire world. There's reasons why, but he's in Scotland in the most important place. He's doing a symbol with his hands, even with this going on. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So again, we're talking about the date for the June 24th stuff, and I'm bringing in Trump now. And I got him with all the stuff going on. Have you learned to read the message? Do you understand what is happening? Think optics. And I got Trump on your screen so you guys can start thinking. So with that said, in the Templar / Mason rankings and whatnot, there's a lot of rankings people might not know about. And there's also something that Trump showed us recently that got everybody's attention, and it goes into multiple levels of things, which is this right here. His Jesus picture he put up. Oh, I'm a doctor. I don't know what you're talking about, guys. I'm a doctor. So he gets everybody in the world's attention by putting this out there, right? Well, everybody speculated on what his real intentions were behind it. Well, I think I found a couple secondary reasons. One, I think what he has on him is a Templar flag. You have the Templar colors of the red and the white. What he has in his hand is, yes, he's like reviving somebody, but what he has in his hand that's glowing is monatomic gold, which is the healing properties that also makes the Ark of the Covenant run. And what does this guy own at Mar-a-Lago? Oh, that's right, the Ark of the Covenant. Who's he reviving? Yeah, we can go have fun. It's JFK Jr., whatever. It's cool. But here's the thing. What people don't realize is you have him in that Masonic outfit too, right? Did you guys know that the magician matches up with that perfectly?
Yeah, that's perfect.
He's the magician.
I remember the Black Pillars were having an absolutely field day posting that picture, video stuff of Trump in that Masonic stuff at the time.
Yeah. And that's the thing is you have to revert all the stuff you've been taught about the Masons and all the Illuminati and all these other societies. So, because again, where I'm going with it, I got to keep saying this in my series. I'm going back to the Templars, the original Templars. I want nothing to do with this New Age Mason stuff that we're talking about. So when I see all this, I'm going back to the Templars themselves. And now I have knowledge of the Templars. And then I see this. Now this makes more sense because of where he was, when he did it, what he's wearing. Now he's the magician. How is he the magician? Well, look at Butler. Look at all the other things. He is the magician, legitimately. So that blew my mind in itself. So now that we've gotten this far, we have the magician part out the way. Let's take a look at Templar flags. Got a whole bunch of them on here just for show for everybody. And I want to point a couple of them out to you. They might look a little familiar. One in particular is this one here. I don't know if you guys have seen this flag before, but yesterday, Trump was in there doing a Knights of the Round Table. I mean, a round table at the Oval Office with a bunch of red hats and whatnot while wearing a red shirt, white shirt with a red tie. He had a guy named Pete Hegseth sitting next to him, right?
Yeah.
And during it, Trump says something to him and kind of smacks him on the arm, almost hit him in the chest. And when he did that, I like, oh, hang on, pause it. What's the odds that he said Pete Hegseth sitting next to him? He's got all this red and all this white. He's sitting at a round table. I'm seeing all this stuff going on. I'm like, okay, this is speaking to me, but what am I actually seeing here? Well, Well, here, let me get the picture of the round. Do I have the picture of a round table? I know I do. From yesterday. It's the beginning of my show. Oh, whatever. It don't matter. I'll just show you this. This is what I come across whenever I see this picture here. And you got Pete Hegseth sitting there next to frickin' Donald Trump. And I see the magician, but I also see a Templar. Because Hegseth has that tattoo on his chest. So our Secretary of War, the Knights Templar were the military order, and our Secretary of War has a Knights Templar tattoo on his chest. You just can't make this stuff up.
No.
So now we have one more piece to go to put this together. And that is this. Trump makes that symbol all the time. What symbol is that?
I used to think it was Space Force.
It is Space Force.
It is.
It is Space Force, but it's not just Space Force. That's the thing. So where I'm going to go with this is pretty crazy.
Looks like a heart in that version.
Well, what about this? It's a Templar cross. What do I mean by that? You see how this Templar cross here, if you actually just take it and you go like this, suddenly you see a Space Force logo. I was like, wait a minute. So has Trump this whole time been doing the top piece of a Templar cross? So then I decided to go ahead and just put it together, and I think I'm right, because the Space Force logo, 4 of them, makes a Templar cross. I think I'm onto something, guys.
Yeah, I do.
I really think I'm onto something.
This is
I don't know what to say about that other than what the hell.
Yeah.
Like, no, seriously.
We know there's been secret societies that have infiltrated from the dark. But we've always believed that there is benevolent secret societies that are fighting for us and have infiltrated them right back, or have been undercover carrying out their mission for a very, very long time. And, you know, this is showing you all that.
Is that 10? It says 1099. You know, it's weird.
What's that?
One of the drops you showed had April 15th, which is tax day here in the United States, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then this 1099, you have to fill out your 1099 or whatever the 10. I'm not even sure. I don't know if they're something with the money. Like, it's very strange.
They were the original bankers. That's what I was going to say. I say you're actually right. I didn't even think of it that way. 1099 is a 1099 form, and they were the original bankers. And of course, their banking system got taken over by the Rothschilds and who we see now.
Yes.
So us going back to the gold standards, really going back to the Templar way of doing things, which actually makes more sense.
And I guess using 1099 and April 15th, it was all like mocking on the part of the bad, the bad guys.
In a sense, yeah. I mean, of course, we'd have to go back and find out where the dates all came from, whatnot. But I think the main piece is just them taking over their banking system, period. I mean, when the church took them over in 1307, Friday the 13th, which I still got to get to, actually, technically. Yeah, like that's actually a connection to. I probably should get to that. Yeah, I probably should, because that's actually a really big piece of this. Let me get.
And they you know what they say, symbolism will be their downfall.
Yes.
Because they've created an inverted system.
Yes. That's okay. Thank you for saying that. That's the other thing too, is people kept saying to me, if these Templars and Masons are actually the good guys, then why in the drops do they talk about Masons being the bad guys? Why do they talk about symbolism being their downfall? Well, the thing that people don't understand until they do the true research is what the symbols and symbolism we've been seeing actually mean. Yeah. And the thing is I got to say, this is going to really hurt some people's feelings when I say this. I promise you it will. But the name you all have heard of, Baphomet. Y'all know that is he's got boobs, a thingy, horns, and all this. It's the devil guy. It's the goat man. that was created in the 1800s by a guy who took all the negative things in the Bible and put it into one character and created the Baphomet. In the real life version of the Baphomet is actually, I think it's ancient Hebrew, and when it's read backwards correctly, it says Sophie, which is wisdom, and it's the female goddess of wisdom. It is the sacred feminine, which we know now the church don't like feminines or females. It's all about the male because they're all pedophiles, and they flipped it over. They don't want us to know about the female. That is why Baphomet is what Baphomet is, because it is so perverted, we'll never realize the truth. And if you want more proof of that, watch the Da Vinci Code and realize that, oh, that's right, the Jesus bloodline is by a girl named who? Oh, Sophie. I rest my case.
Yeah. Well, you know, when you talk about symbolism, right, what the and I'm not an expert in this, but the swastika did not always have a bad meaning.
Nope. That was
So
the way back when too. Same
these
thing.
symbols and they're using them.
Sanskrit, I think, isn't it? Oh, they've turned many of these symbols around.
Yes, most of them they actually have completely ruined. So
Yes.
all right, so one last piece, I guess, would be this right here, because I mentioned it, was the Friday the 13th of 1307. Going back to the Templars, this has a 100% perfect hit inside of the drops. This is wild right here. All right, so the King Philip ordered them to be taken out or arrested on Friday, October 13th of 1307. So that's where we get the Friday the 13th, or 13 being a bad thing going on. This is where it's from. So I did two things here. I decided to check October 13th or 1013, and of course 1307. What will they show me? Oh boy. So in this version, because I don't have this part of my PowerPoint ready, we're actually going to go straight to the drops to do this. So we have 1013 as your date for which they were arrested. Okay. So in this drop, there's one specific line that goes to it. It's also a line we're used to. So with our country, our great military is what keeps us in order. We just saw the military civilian alliance. When 9/11 happened, we said we'll never forget. And when our soldiers die, their sacrifice will never be forgotten. Right. So that's our whole military. And it really aligns with the same way the Templars were, quite literally. So with that said, 1013, that's the date the military order of the Knights Templar were taken down, including the Grand Master Jacques de Molay, who knew he was going to be tortured, and he was for 7 years, and slowly roasted over a fire. So on 1013, what do we get? It's April 4th, 2018. I'm just going to go straight to the most important piece. Their sacrifice will never be forgotten on 1013.
Wow.
To match the date. Come on, man. What are the odds? And of course, you can read the other stuff, but the main piece is that right there. It hits perfectly.
Come on, man.
So, come on, man. And of course, that's 1013. So let's just go ahead and nail 1307. April 30th, 2018, and I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyway, is the year the Templars were founded was 1118. And look at our timestamp here. You have 118, 118,
Okay,
and
come
3
on.
plus 11 is 11. So you have it across the board sitting there. Knowing
we also
what...
have an 1111, right?
Yeah. Yeah. There's multiple ways you can do it. I actually messed with this during my Templar show. It's like you have 181111111. You can play with the numbers and actually get it in multiple directions. It's freaky. So, okay, so I got to set this one up too. Where did the Templars originate? Or how did they get their wealth? Is they went to the Holy Land. They went to Israel, right? What we call Israel now. They went and got all the stuff. They took it out of the Holy Land. That's how they got their power. Then they end up moving it and take it to the U.S.
So they really went to Palestine. They didn't go to Israel because that was only...
Well, to me, that doesn't matter. We're talking about the area of Israel.
Right, but I'm saying that
Jerusalem.
was truly the original...
Yes, correct. The
land.
Palestine, yes, correct. Yes, all that stuff, yes, you're 100% right. I'm going with this for the New Age, though.
Sure.
We have to go with the New Age because we know it is the area is Israel, and that's why it's going to come into play with this. Because again, 1307. So the Templars go to to the Temple Mount. I'll just say that. The Temple Mount, they dig underneath, they find the stuff. That's where their power comes from, okay? So with that said, why were they persecuted in 1307? So two things. Well, a couple things. One, they had too much power. They had more money than the church. The church, or the kings, everybody was borrowing money from them. They had a military order. Now, here's the part that's going to hurt people's feelings, and I'm going to lose some people here. But the main reason that the Knights Templar had to be taken down is because they had a very specific relic that would take the church and flip it on its head. That would be the ossuaries they found back in the day, 1,000 years beforehand. What those ossuaries held and what they still hold to this day, the Templars have control of, would be the bones and the skulls of Mary Magdalene, Jesus, their children, and John. They have all the bones of them all. The church found out. They told them about it. They had leverage on the church. They could take the church and flip them on its head, and instead they got taken out to shut them up. That's the real reason that they were taken out.
Now, can I ask you, do we know historically what happened with those relics? Did the church confiscate them, or were they kept in a safe place that the Templars still know?
Well, I'll give you a bit of info from my new episodes, is that Tim Hogan lets us know directly that there is all of the relics from the Templars are still currently in their possession, still currently in a vault here in the United States, and they are currently about to open them back up and give it back to the world, which includes 6 of our Arks of the Covenant, which I truly believe, one of which is already out and sitting at Mar-a-Lago. So take from that what you will, but the Templars are actually telling us they're coming out with it. They're bringing the arcs out and everything. And look at the golden age we're going through. Look at what we're seeing. We're seeing all this info. It all actually lines up. Now, what's 1307 tell us, though? Where did they get all this stuff from originally? And what kind of information are we getting? It's going to end up being authentic, I can promise you. Knowing what you know now. Israel disclosure moments ago. Authentic. That's your reasoning for the 1307. What they found in Israel is authentic, which is the bones of Jesus. And I know I'm losing people saying it. I don't care.
Well, why do you think we're losing people? I mean,
because people believe that Jesus was a divine person, that he was, but that he legitimately died, rose up to heaven, and then is going to come back the way they claim in the church, and that's not true. And I don't really want to go into the whole thing because this is where I lose people. But what the true story of it is actually in my episodes. They give you the whole story, how it happened, why it happened, how it was possible, where he went, all of it. The whole story's there. The Templars have the story. They have it in all their writings, and they passed it on through all these years about the true story. That story was hidden. That is why the Templars were taken down. And to finish this off is what just happened last September. What just happened last September? Let me get to my correct folder. I closed it. Let me get my Templar folder open. Just so happens that this went on. There it is. Last September or June or whatever date it was, for some strange reason, after 700 years, the Knights Templar returned to the Vatican.
Yeah.
What? I mean, so they're coming back, and this is last year.
Yeah.
And what was the year they were founded? 1118. Well, 2026 minus 1118 equals. Oh, hang on, let me do it right correctly. 2026 minus 1118 equals 908 years. 9 plus 8 is 17. I rest my case.
Oh my God.
I rest my case.
My
Seriously.
God. Wait a minute. Look at the date also, September 26th.
That's the date of they wrote it. I was trying to look that up. They actually wasn't.
I know, but it's the 17926.
Oh, that way. Okay. Yep. You're right there too. Holy crap, man.
I'm just saying it's just everywhere. Like, the signs and symbols.
Yeah, it
and the
is.
messages.
It really is. I'm telling you. And actually, I hate to say it, I have one last piece I have to throw at you. This right here is the Battle of Bannockburn. It's the Battle of 1314 when the White Knights arrived. It's Scotland's greatest victory in history. Robert the Bruce leads the Scots against the English. We all probably know Robert the Bruce from some movies. Mysterious white-robed knights suddenly appear. Fugitive Templars from La Rochelle return the tide and helped secure Scottish independence. I've learned Scotland's one of the most important countries in the entire world. So when did this battle happen? It happened in 1314. What would be the odds of in the Q drops if drop 1314 had an old school battle cannon? What? Come on, man. And it's on May the 4th Be With You Day. Old school cannon fire, justice, future comms, pre-stage on the ready. I this is just stupid. Like, I don't get this. How does this happen?
These drops are amazing, aren't they? I've got a question for you. Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Who and how do you think the drops were written or sculptured or crafted?
Some form of combination between what I'll call looking glass and a quantum computer combined with humans that put a algorithm into it of some kind. Because looking glass, they say you can feed in information and get out possibilities. So that's got to be a piece. And they got to have a quantum computer to probably do it. So a quantum computer's got to be a part of it. And you got to have a quantum computer to do certain calculations. And for the stuff that we see in the Q stuff by itself, that's the only way possible it is. The only possible way has got to be a quantum computer plus a form of looking glass.
Yeah. I was interested. I don't know why this hit me, but the White Knights arrive. I wonder what the gematria is on that.
On all that whole sentence, the White Knights arrive.
Yeah.
Or the White Knights.
Well, the White Knights arrive. Either and both, because this just look like it's screaming.
Some homework for you, Elisa.
Yeah, exactly.
White Knights arrive. 1 second. Let's see. Did I spell it right? The White Knights arrive. Yes. All right. Do it the way I do it. Let's see. So we start with. Let's see. There we go. Let's go 259. Let's see if there's any connections you got. December 5th, Red 911. Funds raised, distributed, 7 of 10 plane crashes. Those in the know never sleep. Nothing there. 1554. June 18th. Got Sessions and process.
I think Sessions will be coming back soon as well, won't he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sessions is coming back 100%. Actually, we've been getting a lot of session comms lately. Lots of them. I got a feeling. Oh, there you go. Trust Grassley. That's one of them. And last piece. None of these hit so far.
Right.
Let me see what the total is. 2274, 154, 259, 4087. Ooh. Mike Pompeo, May 3rd. What is it? Ooh, be sure of this. The wicked will not go unpunished, but the descendants of the righteous will go free. Okay, that's a decent one.
That's pretty cool.
That is amazing.
That is very cool.
So that's the White Knights arrive. That's the total of all three is 4087. And yeah, that takes you to
Trust Kansas.
Wow. Come on.
That is crazy.
That's what I mean. So you never know until you get to the end. Like that's how my stuff has been going. I didn't know where it was going to lead me to. So holy crap.
Yeah, that's why everyone should do a bit of digging. Just go down a little rabbit hole yourself and see what you come up with, because people that have never been down a rabbit hole will come up with something else that people that have been going down for years never see.
I put it like this. I'd like to one day take a newbie who's brand new to it, kind of almost, not like a Mickey quite thing, but like take a newbie who's still new to it, and just let me have my way with them and with this stuff for a little bit. Just let me show them what can be done, so that I can just break their brain, be like, all right, now let's start over. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's do some easy stuff after that. So, all right. So you asked about the 1118, right?
Yeah.
All right. Here's where we finish it. So let's see. This is the one I can't remember the exact reasoning for. So this is fine though. During my Templar shows, this drop came up. I leave this first because I can't remember the reason for it just yet, because too many hours. I can't refine this info yet. 1368 in the year. There's something specific that happened. It was either a meeting or something special with the Templars. So I pull this drop up. May 14, 2018. And the main reason I'm having it pulled up right now to show you is look at the set of numbers right here.
Yeah.
And again, I got to pull this up for anybody out there that, of course, won't be following correctly, and make sure everybody stays with us, is that the Knights Templars founding is in 1118. So what we see there in the timestamp is 1368 came up because of a Templar specific thing. I go in the drops, pull up to 1368, and I get Templar numbers. So that's what I'm seeing. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. What are the odds of that? So, of course, that's where you end up going further with it to see what else you see. This one here says Allison Mack, Nexium, arrested, date. When does the bird sing? Schneiderman's arrest, date. Coincidence? Eyes wide open. Who will be next? Watch New York City. Watch California. Q. So 2 things in the drop caught me, which was the timestamp I showed you, and then eyes wide open. Reason that's important to me is because what are we talking about? We're talking about the Templars, which that includes the Masons. Then we go into the secret societies. You guys remember the movie that was produced back in 1969 by the guy named Kubrick. Oh, wait, no, that was the moon landing. I'm sorry. That guy created a movie back in 1999 that was called Eyes Wide Shut, and he was killed at the end of it before it came out. So where I see this is I see the 1368 your Templar link. There's your Templar link inside that. And where does that go to is the movie Eyes Wide Shut. But what are they trying to do to us is make our eyes wide open. That's where I see that going to. So that's your first one for your 1118. Okay. Where we go from here? There's your drop number 1118. Okay. So 1118. We had kind of hit this earlier a little bit in a way. 41020. You guys remember that, right? From drop number 40 is 41020 is DJT. Well, it just so happens I think Trump's a Templar, and drop 1118 to match the year the Templars were created starts off on the day 41020 18. 41020. What are we waiting for? Is Christmas, right? Timestamp's Christmas.
Oh my God.
Now, I'll even have more fun with you because I see you're getting it. So let me get this pulled up. See if I can find it really fast on the side, because I don't have this in my stuff. Let's see. Oop, if I can spell right. And where are you? Where are you? There you are. How about this? So what do you get for Christmas? But presents, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you get presents, sometimes they tend to look a little bit like a, I don't know, maybe a Templar cross or a red cross. Yeah. Just saying. Just want to throw that out at you. All right. So there's your 11. Just had to do it. So 1118, this is the actual drop. I actually, off the top of my head, I actually don't remember what's in this one. Oh, I do now. Okay. Holy crap. This is a big one. All right. So what did the Templars do? What we talked about already is at some point they came over to North America and brought their treasures, right? And they put them into vaults. They hid them. That's what they did. And now we're literally waiting to this day for one of the treasure vaults to be opened that has the arcs in it. And for anybody wondering, yes, Oak Island was a part of it. In 1769, they went to Oak Island and took the treasure out of there to fund the Revolutionary War. Yes, there's still treasure at Oak Island, but the main part of the treasure's gone there. Now you can still watch the show. Okay. What's in this drop? Tell me what the odds are that 1118, when the Templars were founded, with 41020 as your start of that, and Christmas Day, you get this. Starting large-scale exports to North America and Europe.
Oh my God.
What? Prompting periodic worries in the West. I'm not reading the whole thing. I'm pulling out the pieces that matter. Well, what are the odds? They were founded in 1118. I think Trump's the head guy, and that's going to be Christmas. What do you get for Christmas? But Red Cross. What's the Red Cross? The Templar thing and what they do. But they started large-scale exports to North America and Europe. And that's your first one for 1118. We're not done. You're going to be blown away by this. Let's go number 2. If we search 11.1118, we find more drops, including one drop that has our 1111 as well. Now, what are the Templars going to be doing? If they are correctly what I think they are, they will be unifying America. They were founded in 1118. Here's your number. America will be unified again, and future proves past. Interesting. Kind of fits right in. Number 2, drop 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the Anon talking. It says, thank you, Q. We are an existential threat to the establishment. Hashtag trusting the plan. Now think about that statement. The Templars are a threat to the establishment and the church and the monarchy because that's who they were fighting. Yeah. Trusting the plan. America will be unified again. 11-11-18. There's our numbers. Holy crap. So we're just following along the Templar line. So let's go further. Now let's do 11-11-18 and we find another drop. So we do this drop. March 6th, 2018, 856 is your drop number. Now, what year are we in? We're in our 250th year right now. Oddly enough, or our 908th year, oddly enough, and on 11-11-18, we get a parade that will never be forgotten, which we are getting here in 2026. Weirdly enough, ask yourself why. God bless our men and women in uniform. We will never forget. Now, what will we never forget? Well, I do remember that back in drop number 1013, they did tell us that their sacrifice will never be forgotten, too. Amazing. Never forget. And it was the brave men and women in uniform, the military-civilian alliance we showed you. So, guess what? Let's go further. We still have 11-11-18 to go. And we haven't even, and we're not going to look at drops on 11-18. We're going to just keep this basic. Guess what? We have another drop. Drop 25-27, December 2nd, 2018. A world united is a wonderful thing. Sounds like the Templars to me. People are inherently good. We stand together. What happened to 11-11-18 America, Unified America Day, you disgusting liar fraud? Answer Freddie, you fucking faggot. Think waves. Worldwide. Define unified. 17. Satellite knockout force news class tech online by who? Controlled moment activated. 17. I think I see 217. Do you believe in coincidences? Do you believe your efforts here to persuade people to stop the pursuit of truth? There's a place for everyone. Now, 17. I swear I have seen those numbers somewhere before. Have I not?
Cash Patel.
Or the year that the Masonic Lodge opened.
Yeah,
right.
1717. There's 2 17s in that drop as well. So what are the odds? Again, with, guess what? The year the Templars were founded. So I think, is there one more or is it the last one? That's the last one. Okay, so now I come to the best part of it. This is the literal icing on the cake. This is something you can't deny. There's nobody that can argue with me on this one here. This is something you just is so stupid. It's so on point. I can't describe how awesome this is. This is seriously one of the craziest things I've ever seen. So the last piece of this. So what we've been looking at so far is 11-11-18. Also the number 1118, because that's when the Templars were founded, right? So what would be the odds? There's our numbers. So Trump, his name's Trump, right? Starts with a T. Templar starts with a T. interesting? So he bought the rights to Truth Social in 2011. In 2011, that would be the year 2011. I just want you guys to know that the 11th letter is K and the 20th letter is T. That's KT. That's Knights Templar for 2011. And the date in which he bought it was on November 18th, which would be 11/18, which would be the year they were founded. So the year and the date both point to Templars. 11/18 is when he founded True Social in 2011, and 2011 is KT, Knights Templar. Now, that's just the start of this. Now I'm going to do a little math problem for you guys that if you're trying to deny this, all I can say is you need a new brain. Watch this. So I went from the exact date that Trump bought True Social, and I went forward, and I'm going to go to St. John the Baptist Day last year in 2025. Okay? Just to see how long it is. Now, again, think about this, everybody out there that's watching this. All the stuff I've said so far, this right here takes the cake. So Trump buys True Social on a date that matches the Templar start in a year that matches KT for Knights Templar. I'm going to go forward to a date where the Templars venerated, which is going to be John the Baptist, and to the Knights, or the Grand Lodge, back-to-back days. Can this actually relate to the Q drops? Watch and see. So to the 23rd, which is St. John Baptist Day, how many days is it? 4,966.
That's the last drop.
Oh, somebody figured it out. So how many drops are there, everybody? It just so happens that there are exactly 4,966 drops.
Wow.
So Trump buying True Social until the Templars Veneration Guy Day is the amount of drops there are. Now here, let's go one further. Now let's go to the date of the first Grand Lodge. And we're going to go one more day. And it's, of course, going to be 4,967. Now, that's not perfect, is it? Or is it? Or is it? So let's go back over to the drops. Because if you remember something, when you go back to drop number one is a reply to this. Therefore, this is drop number 0. We don't have drops for 1 through 4,966. We actually have 4,967, which actually perfectly matches Trump buying True Social to the first Grand Lodge.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
So if anybody out there would like to take all this information I have and throw it back at me, I'd like to see it, because this stuff you can't make up. I am blown away, and this is all brand new. You guys are getting stuff that I put together up till the last few days, and my cat is meowing. Hey, kitty.
Yeah,
Okay.
Matrix, that's amazing.
That is just mind-blowing. Wow.
It's disgusting.
It's ridiculous. So I just want to know, your series, the 8-part series, is on your channel.
Yeah, it's actually both. They're on Pilled and Rumble. But I had a problem with the last episode, so I had to re-upload the episode, and that one's only on Rumble. So on Rumble, I have a playlist of all 8 of them.
Okay.
Other than the last one, they're on both sides, so on Pilled and on Rumble.
Okay.
I'm gonna let my cat out real quick. Give me back 1 second.
Sure.
No worries. So, has that blown you away a bit?
Yeah, I don't even have words.
Yeah, that's
Right
amazing.
now.
As soon as I saw that 4966 come up, bing. You know, I don't know how many times you said to people, there's 4,966 drops plus the 0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
That's some crazy stuff, though.
That must have made your stand on in Matrix when you saw that 4966.
Oh, I know. Yeah, when I put that in, actually, here's the weird part, though, is this right here, what you guys are seeing with this 49. Oh, that went the wrong way. 423rd. That's for the St. John the Baptist Day. When I saw this hit, though, the 4966.
Yeah.
What I was doing it for was, it was before that date ever hit, too, actually. So this was June 23rd, 25. So about a year before that date would have hit, I got this calculation. I was waiting for that calculation to hit for a year. Literally, I was saying it. I told people on my show. I waited a few months to bring it up, and I showed people on my show, and I said, here's the date I'm looking at right now. Is this matches the Q drops, and it comes from. So I basically what it was though. I didn't have any clue that this matched up to the Templars. To me, all I saw when I did this was, hey, from Truth Social, this is how many drops there are. This is where it lands. I went 4,966 days after he bought Truth Social and got this date. And here I am a year and a half or whatever it is later. And now I realize where it connects, which is what I did for you guys. So when I did this, I just thought it was cool that it matched up. I had no clue it matched the Templars or the Grand Lodge or any of that stuff.
Wow, that's amazing. So that slideshow presentation and stuff you sort of skip through and stuff, are you still building that at the moment? Are you going to do a full presentation of that when you I like to say, you know, when you finished it, but are these things ever finished? Because you always find something else, don't you?
Right. I can show you guys what I have in here right now. I'm building this currently. I just started this literally like 4 or 5 days ago. And these are the pieces I have into it right now. I just got some of the stuff about them. I got what I showed you there. I got the drops.
Yeah.
We covered everything. I'm pretty sure we covered every single thing I have in here too.
Yeah.
And this is what I've been building literally I think that's it.
Yeah.
That's it right there. That's everything. But see, the thing is, you guys got stuff that's not inside of this yet. Like where I went with you guys today, all the stuff I added in, that's all getting put inside of this thing. I just haven't got there yet. So you guys were just getting what I have done so far.
Yeah. Well, when you've completely finished it off, that is going to be an amazing presentation. I can guarantee you that. And that's been amazing you coming on our show today.
Yeah.
Hey, that was fun. So much fun. We were here 3 hours.
Yeah, 3 hours flew by, didn't it?
Fast.
Wow.
You know, I've got more questions to ask you and stuff, but we know you're going on with Rambo and stuff in an hour anyway, aren't you? So
I got a whole hour. You got some questions? Go for it.
All right. Well, just a few quick fire round questions. Someone asked me in the Badger Block asked me in the chat earlier about the EBS. Now, I know we talk about we are seeing this slow declass that has been happening for ages. What do you think we're seeing the EBS now? Do you think we're going to have a proper EBS moment?
Man, that's a hard question to answer. I hear people ask me that a lot, and my views have changed over time on that. And I'll be honest with you, the main reason they change is because of Joe Rambo and Dave, honestly.
Yeah.
The way they've been describing it recently has my attention to where normally I would probably say before Joe Rambo and them guys have me saying what I'm about to say, I would say that yes, I do think there will be an official EBS at some point, but I don't know what that inters. Now, with the information I have now and seeing what we're seeing, there's a whole lot of EBS stuff we're seeing nonstop, and we have been for a few months. And then put it into perspective, the way those guys did is basically it's like we're living through the EBS in real time.
Yeah.
As though, like, whether you want to go back to Joe Biden or whatever it may be, it's like we've been in this EBS, in this crazy moment for a long time already. So I don't really know which way it goes. Honestly, my initial thought is, yeah, we'll have some form of actual EBS because they've given us 2 tests over the years. What was it? October 3rd and 4th of 18 and 23 or 22 or whatever. So we've had 2 for a test. So I still feel like that tells us there will be. But I can't predict the future. I think something would have to go off. But again, I like the way that those guys over there think too. So,
yeah.
Yeah. You know, I hate to do this. I want you guys to keep going because I'm sure our viewers are just like not wanting this to stop. But I have to go because I have to head upstate. So I'll try to pick it up back in the car if I can. But I just want to thank you. God bless you for what you're doing. This was so much fun, Matrix. I hope we could do it again.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. You have yourself a good time. And because you're leaving, I won't take too much time. I won't do this without you, but we will have to set this back up again. I officially have a calendar I create now. So we'll definitely talk and set something up for another one.
Okay. That sounds great. All right. Bye-bye. Love you guys.
Yeah.
See you, Elisa. Yeah, Matrix, thanks so much for coming on. That's been amazing. Thank you everyone in the chat. Because I've been concentrating so much and listening to you, I haven't paid that much attention to the chat. I like to have it on the screen, but when you're showing stuff on the screen, I take it off. But yeah, Matrix, you are welcome on anytime. Wonderful, sir. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you very much. I hope you guys all enjoyed that. And hopefully you guys learned something and don't think too negatively about me or the Templars and the way they think. I'm just searching for the truth like everybody else.
I only think positively. I comfy AF. Yeah. So, yeah, it's all good. And I'll be in the chat in about an hour's time when you're on with Rambo and the guys. So people can find you on MATRIXQDEBREAKER, Rumble and Pilled mainly is the 2 live stream platforms you go out on. You're on Twitter and Truth Social, I think, aren't you as well?
That and Telegram. I'm on Gab, but I mean, put it like this: the main things I use is X and Pilled and Rumble, and then Truth Social. That's the main places you're going to find me. So
brilliant. Well, I think a lot of people in the chat have had a wonderful time watching that, and there was a lot of wows and stuff. So, Matrix, thank you very much. Like I say, we'll be in touch, and we'll schedule in for another one sometime soon. And have fun tonight. And I shall be watching keenly.
Awesome. Thank you very, very much. I will talk to you soon, sir. Thank you.
Take care, brother. I'm going to play out with a little bit of I Drop Media, I think. Where we go, one, we go all for a couple of minutes. So, where we go, one, we go all, Matrix.
Yes. Peace. Where we go, one, we go all.
Peace.
We're standing tall, we're